with you guys in a second, don't you worry. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. Look at Kante's beautiful golden message, by the way. Shout out my little rat, Kante. Welcome, guys. Welcome to today's stream. We are doing slightly different stream than we might usually do. Ordinarily, there would not be a World Cup partway through a season. However, I just thought it would be nice if we just did, because it's sort of like the first half. I know it's not exactly halfway through the football season. It's closer to a third of the way through the season. But if we're going to split it into two sections, we've got pre-World Cup, post-World Cup. So I thought it would be a nice idea for us just to have a sit down and a chat just about how you feel your clubs have been performing so far this season. I know it says Premier League on the YouTube thumbnail, but it's not just for Premier League. We can also, as Kante just rightly pointed out there, yes, it can be for any club. So if you're a Grimsby Town fan, if you're, I don't know, an AC Milan fan, or whatever, there will obviously be an emphasis on Premier League because most of my followers are Premier League fans. However, generally, overall, everyone is going to have an opportunity to chat about their club. No, it's not Nobler exclusive, Mo. It's similar to when it was when it was the end of season review last season, and also when it was a transfer deadline day. Everyone can come on and have their say on how their clubs have been performing so far this season. And I'll also be looking at the league tables, and we'll probably generally try to do it from bottom to top if we can. Obviously, for example, I don't know if we've got any Wolves fans who watch. Hello, Soward, how are you doing? Company is the owner of Blackburn, says Curtis. But we do have the Premier League table here. You can still see the chat just behind me. Excellent stuff. Sensational. And by the way, chaps, if you do want to come onto the stream, you will need to, and speak on the stream, you will need to come into the Discord server and join the voice chat. If you're struggling with that in the Discord, just ask a moderator or an admin and they'll be able to assist you. But yes, as I say, well, in general, I'm going to say, I reckon we should try to start from the bottom down. I've also got my Premier League predictions here, so we can see how wrong I was in terms of my predictions as well. As I say, I think we'll go bottom to top. I think that makes the most sense. Evening, Gasky. How are you doing? Although we don't necessarily have to do that. If someone's got a desire to come on and talk about something, then we can do that. Southampton are going down alongside Chelsea, says Curtis. Well, we'll get to Southampton very shortly. I can talk about Forest and Blackburn if you need, says Kante. I mean, yeah, if Kante, if you want to talk about, obviously I expect you to talk about Blackburn. I don't know what your Forest connection is, but yeah, absolutely. If you want to talk about Forest, you're more than welcome to. How does this work? Asks Oren. Oren, the way this works is you join the Discord server. I think you're already in it, but you need to pop into the general chat, and I can pop you in it. I mean, you're saying the predictions are wank, but to be fair, I mean, if we look at, I mean, just before yesterday, no, it's not exact right now because Forest got a victory, but Forest were bottom, and Southampton are also in the relegation zone. Hello, Callum, mate, and Callum, if you want to come on and talk about Bournemouth, you're more than welcome to. No, it's good to talk about Wolves. Let's just get to the Saints, mate. Well, Jack, the Southampton will be the team I talk about next, so hop in the general chat just so I know that you are ready and raring to go. But let's quickly cover Wolves, shall we? Hello, Nizki. Let's quickly cover Wolves, who did get beaten yesterday by the arse 2-0. I didn't even know the scorer because I've not caught up on that game yet, but yes, they are currently bottom of the table, only on 10 points. 2 wins they have. They were a defensively solid team last season. That solidity sort of gone, it appears. In fact, is that actually correct? Yes, they've conceded 24 goals. They've still scored. They scored the lowest in the division as well. Yes, they have. They've scored 8, which is by far and away the lowest. The next lowest is Everton and Forest, who have scored 11. And their goals against also isn't great. What worked for them last season was the fact that they were at least were defensively solid. But if you watch my predictions, I did say that was not going to be sustainable. Match against Wolves is an easy 3 points. As Edin, I think the Portuguese Crusade needs to end. 24 goals for a relegation side isn't too bad, but 8 goals is truly horrendous. And that's the thing, Mo, isn't it? If we look at the goal difference, it's the worst or one of the worst. Yes, so it's the second worst, only behind Forest. And you've got to remember, Forest have been pumped a couple of times this season, like I think of a 6-0 against Manchester City, for example. I think Arsenal pumped them 4-0 as well. So they've had a fair few batterings this season. So that is bringing their averages slightly down. So it's not looking good for Wolves. In fact, where did I predict them to finish? I thought they were going to be sort of high mid-table. What is that? 12th in the table. I didn't think they were going to be great, but I thought they'd at least be much better than they are doing currently. And I'm sure if we just have a look at some stats, it would not surprise me at all if I can find, for example, are they near the bottom in terms of shooting? Oh no, they're actually not, are they? Wait, where are they? Am I being dumb? Where are they? Wolves. Oh no, in terms of shots, they're actually shooting enough. Where's their shot creating actions? That's what I want to see. Shot creating actions, goal creating actions. There we go. So yes, the bottom of the table in terms of goal creating actions. In terms of shot creating actions, they're actually doing okay, but their conversion rate's obviously quite poor. World Cup stream, yes, don't worry, we'll be doing many of those. We've outscored West Ham, so Jack. I'm sad Man City lost to Saud. Me too. Don't worry, we'll get to Man City. But yeah, Wolves doing much worse than I thought they were going to do. New managers going to properly come in not next season, after the World Cup, Lopetegui. So I don't think they'll get relegated. Hello, Musty. It's a lot of long shots, says Billy. Well, there you go. Yes, they might be creating they might be producing shot creating actions, but they're not producing goal creating actions. So they're clearly very wasteful in front of goal. I'm going to bring in a Southampton fan now. Hello, a Man City fan who has I think I'm correct in saying that Jack is a Manchester City fan who has a soft spot for Southampton because he's from Southampton. Jack, can you correct me if I'm wrong on that?
What'd you say, mate?
I said you're a Manchester City fan, but you have a soft spot for Southampton because you're from there. Is that correct?
That is correct.
There we go. Excellent stuff. So for our purposes right now, you are a Southampton fan. You do still, they're like your second team, aren't they?
Pretty much, yeah.
Excellent stuff. Callum says average Southampton fan. Callum, I want you to stay there, mate, because I want to talk to you. So we can talk about Bournemouth later. But yes, so Jack, Southampton. Now, I predicted them to finish in 18th place to get relegated. They are currently in 19th place. It's been a turbulent season so far for Southampton. Hassan Hutel has obviously been let go. In terms of the goals against, they are one of the worst in the entire division. Now, this is Bournemouth have conceded more, and Forest, so they have the third worst defensive record in the division as well. So Jack, just like talk me through. It's obviously going wrong at Southampton. What is going wrong at Southampton? Was Hassan Hutel rightly sacked? And how much faith do you have that Southampton will not get relegated this season?
Okay, so I have zero faith of the mighty Southampton staying up. I think, especially when you look at the managers that Wolves and Villa have been able to bring in, Nathan Jones is not good enough for this league to keep us safe. But I don't even know what good to say. Like, fullbacks, we have one fit fullback.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently in a City situation where we're playing centre backs at right back.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to work. So, yeah, yeah.
Mo says, if you guys got any questions for the people I'm chatting to, by the way, feel free to pop them in the chat. Mo asks, he obviously played Liverpool yesterday, and Mo is a Liverpool fan. Ask him about the performance yesterday. He says, Mo, I thought they played all right.
I didn't watch the game.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, what has been the main issue for Southampton then? What's the reason Hasenhüttl lost his job? If you had to sum it down as like one key issue.
I mean, it sounds really basic, but we concede too many and don't score enough. Our strikers are championship quality, and players like Salisu are always going to make a mistake at the back.
Yeah, so too many individual errors creeping into Southampton's game. Let me just, can I bring, why can't I find the clubs? There we go. Now I found them. I just want to revisit your Southampton's transfer activity. If memory serves, yeah, there was a lot of Manchester City interest in the form of Bazanu, Lavia in particular. Have you been happy with how those signings have performed? Do you think Southampton will go into the transfer market in January, and should they go into the transfer market in January?
I feel like we have to. Like, it's clear that there is a big problem with injuries, and we can't keep risking players like that starting every week, because it won't work, will it? So I'd like at least another fullback similar to City, and a striker.
And a striker. Your current striking option is Armstrong is your main chap, is it? Is that correct?
Hey Adams and Adam Armstrong.
And they're not cutting the mustard. Is that fair to say?
No.
AFC Bant. If you want to join the Discord, mate, the link is in the description. Jack is a City fan, but his second team is Southampton. Callum. I think we've got two people saying, yeah, because Hasenhüttl has obviously gone. Just before, sorry if you answered it. Do you think Hasenhüttl was rightly sacked, or are you not happy with that decision?
I mean, I did really like him, but it did feel like the right time for him to go, because, like I've said, I'm repeating myself, but it just wasn't working.
No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, and Callum asks, I think maybe Mo or Ed as well asked, who do you think should come in as the manager of Southampton?
I don't really think about it, but I mean, in a dream world, I would have liked Thomas Tuchel, but that was never going to happen.
Yeah. How about a more sort of like reality world?
Maybe a Bielsa.
Bielsa could be an interesting shout. Yeah, he's still jobless, right? Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that might be interesting. You never know. He obviously did some interesting work with Leeds. Hello, Digster. Hello, Sean. Sorry, Musty says hi, by the way, Jack.
Hello, Musty, mate.
He's been. Mo says he's been linked with Bournemouth. Heavily linked with us, yeah. Says Callum, who is a Bournemouth fan. So that could be a really interesting signing. Messi's in the UAE, says Saud. Excuse me. Good to know. Good to know. And Musty says, how long's Hasenhüttl been at Southampton? It's a long time. It's like, is it 4 years, 5 years, or something like that? It's a long time.
He was coming up on 4 years.
4 years. Yeah, and because Mark Hughes was his predecessor, I believe.
Fucking Mark Hughes.
Yeah. And it's a shame because Hasenhüttl came in. I don't really know. Sort of like, how would you, sort of like, just like wrapping up on Southampton, how would you sort of assess Hasenhüttl's legacy at Southampton? There are obviously a couple batterings in there, but he is working with limited tools. And would you say overall, it's probably fair to say that had he been given the correct tools, he could have done quite a decent job with Southampton? Because I think he's a good manager.
I mean, he definitely could have, but our owners, I think we've gone through 2 different owners since he's been here.
Right.
And he just didn't get backed enough to push the team on.
Fair dues. That is a shame. And yeah, Mo says it's a shame. I liked Hasenhüttl. He was a good manager. Coleman Southampton, says Musty. Oh god.
Yeah, he's not anywhere near Poch or Coleman.
No. And we'll have one more question. Musty asks, who's better, Pele or Pella?
Graziano Pella.
There you go.
Pele never played in the Premier League.
That is the correct answer. But yes, Jack, commiserations so far. Southampton struggling in the season, but it's not too late for a turnaround. I predicted them in 18th. They're currently in 19th, Jack. Where are Southampton finishing at the end of the season? And also give them a grade in terms of their overall season so far, like A star, B, C, etc.
Optimistic. I think we could finish 16th, 17th.
Yeah.
Realistic. I think we're looking at where we are now.
Relegation.
Yeah.
Fair dues. I'm sorry to hear that, Jack. Hopefully that doesn't happen for your sake. And I will speak to you later when we get to City, mate. Thank you for talking about Southampton for me.
Love you, mate.
Love you too, Jack. Bye. There we go. That was Jack. Don't worry, Kante. We will get to Blackburn. Just want to cover a few Premier League sides so far. Forest. I don't think we have any Forest fans. Hello, King Josh. I don't think we have any Forest fans who want to talk about Forest, but that's absolutely fine. I'll just quickly touch on them. My issue with I predicted Forest to finish bottom of the table. So far, they are just in the relegation, so they did get an important win. I believe it was against Crystal Palace, but they have been pumped a fair few times this season. They've been struggling as well. I think this will be more of a long-term thing. I think maybe they can use the World Cup period to get all their players amalgamated, all those signings working and functioning and whatnot. Yeah, Kante, I'll just get you in for Blackburn later if that's all right. But yes, that is that's Forest. They're wank. They'll finish bottom, says Callum. Forest's issue in my eyes was signed too many players. Yes, Ed, I agree. I appreciate they had to sign a number of players because they had lots of players who were on loan. We're doing Championship as well, True Citizen. Don't you worry. I understand they had to bring in a lot of players. However, it's really hard to amalgamate all of them. And as I say, maybe they can use that World Cup period to actually create a functioning squad rather than a chaotic one. Josh says I predicted Leicester, Wolves, and West Ham really high. And Everton. When I predict Everton, I actually predicted Everton to be in 17th place. Hello, Night Shift. I predicted Everton in 17th place. Everton are currently in 17th. So far, guys, my predictions aren't terrible. I predicted Forest and Southampton. I know, as I said, we're not near the end of the season. But to be fair, my Wolves one is well wrong. But I did predict Forest and Southampton to go down. That's where they are currently. And I've got Everton in the exact spot. And Everton are wank. Well, Ed, you are. I know you're a Coventry fan primarily, but you are also an Everton fan. So I've just dragged you into the chat, Ed, assuming you want to talk about Everton, Ed, because they like your second team, aren't they, Ed?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, you could say.
Excellent stuff. And how are you, Ed, by the way?
I'm good, Nobbins. How are you?
I'm doing great because I'm talking to you.
As always.
There we go. Night Shift says, do you think Arsenal win the league? Don't you worry, Night Shifter. We will get onto Arsenal in a second. Let's talk about Everton, though, first of all. So I'm joined by Ed, a.k.a. Eduardo Da Vinci. Oh, yeah, sorry, Jack. I forgot to ask for the season. Yeah. So a grade D for Southampton so far. That's technically a pass. But there we go. That is Southampton. But yeah, Ed, you're an Everton fan. Can I just ask, where do you sort of think they were going to... Where do you think they... Sorry, before the start of the season, where did you think they were going to finish in the league around?
I mean, I was saying I was hoping for improvement and hoping for mid-table. And I'd certainly saw, especially with signings coming in, not necessarily seen, but you'd think they'd have an improvement on last season. And I think coming into the start, they were a bit slow, but they got into it. But past, I think 4, so sort of Fulham. I know they played all right against Fulham, but Leicester and Bournemouth were a shambles, and they're in the same position as last season. Really, it's a scrap. It's a mess. And
yeah, it was a good start from Everton, I thought. I feel like they didn't... I feel like they picked up points relatively early on in the season. And Jack's just said it there. I thought Everton were doing better than they are. I didn't actually think Everton were 17th. I thought they were maybe, 1 or 2 places higher, their goal difference, meaning they are just behind West Ham. They finished, was it 16th or 17th last season as well? So not really that much of an improvement so far. 16th was it? There you go. And they got a couple of not fluky performances. They were warranted, but they were more surprise results. You know, like beating Manchester United. I think they beat Chelsea at home as well in that relegation run-in. So it's a full first season for Frank Lampard. How do you assess how he's done so far, Ed? And what are your sort of thoughts on like how he plays? Are you happy with how he plays? Because I honestly couldn't really tell you what Lampard's sort of philosophy is, for example.
He variates a lot. I mean, at the start of this season, we went in with a three-back. Godfrey got injured first game of the season, or second game of the season, something like that, and then he reverted to a four-back. Now, he had the stint of form where Cody and Tarkovsky were virtually unbeatable at the back, and they were absolutely brilliant. And then they've sort of dropped off. It feels like Lampard's trying to variate his style of play. He doesn't really look confident in a way of going forward. It seems to be put Anthony Gordon and Damari Gray on the width and just use them and run with them because they've got some sort of pace about them, even if they're not the fastest players. I mean, he's given me 50-50. When we had him last season, I backed him as best as I could and I saw something, but he's got to start picking up points. You can have as many good performances as you like, but if you're picking up a point consistently, it's not going to be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, you've got the I guess strong support of Goodison Park, even though that's going after this year. Everton fans want a lot more than they can realistically achieve in general, but he's really got to start gaining some points, otherwise he's going to lose the fans back in.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to pick up on a point you made there, if this is going to work for me. Yes, so for example, and you said that Everton fans maybe expecting more than what they're going to get. But I know this isn't a perfect metric, but in terms of like, market value of a squad, in general, higher market value equals better players. Where are Everton? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So Everton have the 11th most valuable squad in the Premier League. It's more valuable than the likes of Brighton and Brentford, and Crystal Palace, Fulham. It's just slightly under the value of even Newcastle United and Leicester, only by around 30 million. So is it fair to say that Everton are heavily underperforming?
At the moment in time, yes, I would say. I mean, if you look at their sort of history of finishes, I mean, take it back last season. Before that, you were looking around mid-table. I think you had Marco Silva's departure finish. I think we finished 8th that year, and then we went to about 10th and then 12th or something like that. So we've been steadily declining. But I think mid-table is sort of where you can expect. I mean, Conference League would be, I imagine, the place that most Everton fans would want to see Everton.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for me, 10th place is probably where they should be aiming each season.
Yeah.
About
that. And then you never know, maybe you can get a cup run, or maybe you can do, what Brighton or Fulham are currently doing, where slightly overperform, maybe push for those European spots. Callum's asking a question. I was just about to ask you about the striker situation. Looks like Callum's asked one here. If they had a better striker or Morpay / Calvert-Lewin pick up form, they'd have probably been all right. And just speaking on your striker options, they obviously signed Morpay in the summer. Calvert-Lewin is a bit of an injury-prone risk, it seems, recently. Do you see Everton doing any serious business in the January transfer window? And if so, what positions do you think they should be looking at improving?
I would like to see business. I can't see Lampard doing much. I'd like to see a better backup goalkeeper, because Begovic is probably one of the worst keepers I think I've ever seen play. He is, in my mind, he's atrocious. I mean, who were they playing in the FA Cup last year? I think they were playing a non-league side or something like that. And I'm pretty sure he conceded, but it was offside. And it was atrocious. If Everton don't have Pickford, they could easily be relegated. I mean, he kept them up last year. I don't care what people say. It was the game against Palace that saw Michael Keane and Calvert-Lewin and all of that. But the saves that Pickford made, especially the one against Chelsea last year, that kept them in the league.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see another striker as well, but we won't get one because we signed Morpay.
Yeah, the Morpay one did always confuse me, because Brighton are a side associated with, not finishing chances. Everton need a striker who's going to finish some chances, so they sign a Brighton striker. Seems a bit odd to me, and that's reflected if we look at the top goal scorers here. Anthony Gordon is your highest goal scorer and he scored 3
Yeah.
goals this season. Calvert-Lewin's
I mean-
got 1. I think Morpay has 1 as well. So it's obvious what the issue is at Everton, that they don't have a proper goal scorer.
I'm fairly confident this season the highest XG per 90 is Salomon bloody Rondon, which sort of says it all. I mean, yeah, you need a striker that can score.
Just another interesting tidbit here. Jordan Pickford is your joint second most creative player in respect of assists. He's got.
I mean, that's down to 2 things.
Yeah.
One is the only person that can pass a ball sort of half decently.
Yeah.
And 2, the amount of times he kicks it forward when he doesn't need to. Like, I love Pickford, and I like him, but Lampard clearly wants to build from the back on a counter attack, and Pickford just boots it forward time and again.
Oh gosh, and just tell me more about Onana. How do you sort of like rate his
Yeah, he's class.
first season at Everton? Are you happy with that signing? Yeah.
I mean, he came in and I thought what was it, about 35 mil?
Yes.
Something like that. I thought that was quite a lot of money, but you know, he's been here. I mean, he's only got 1 assist, but I still think he's that sort of player that Everton have been missing in terms of a defensive midfielder. He really gets stuck in. He fights for the badge. He always gives a 7 out of 10 most weeks, and I think it's just his contribution in terms of defending. It doesn't go unnoticed for me. I mean, he wins it back. He gets it forward. He carries the team, and especially against Liverpool, they didn't know how to deal with him. They really didn't. He was going in, winning it back. I mean, he probably should have got a red card because there's 2 chances where he could have got yellows, but you know.
Oh wait, Mo, don't tell me to hurry up. I'm giving everyone the right to speak about their club. We'll have less of that. Mo also says Pickford has the same goals and assists as Ronaldo. Brilliant. And Besiktas don't want Dele Alli anymore. Goodness me.
I'm not surprised. I didn't want Dele Alli.
No, yeah, he's a really bizarre situation there. But yeah, Anthony Gordon's top goal scorer is not looking good. They're currently 17th. I predicted them to finish in 17th. Ed, where do you think Everton will finish this season, and also grade their season so far?
15th, I reckon. I'm gonna say 1 position higher than last season, and so far, I'll give it a C minus.
C minus. Do you think Lampard? Last question: will Lampard last the whole season?
No.
Interesting.
I don't think.
Sorry. Follow-up final question: if that's the case, who would you like to see come in?
Who would well, on who's available at the moment?
Yeah.
I would quite like to see Pochettino come in, but that's unlikely, and I'm pretty sure there's a French team going after him.
I mean, you attracted Carlo Ancelotti, so why not?
Well, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I'll say Pochettino.
There
if
we
we
go.
get him, I reckon he could turn the club around.
Think positive. Have big vibes. Speaking of big, Musty says get big Sam in. Can you imagine? But that is Everton. Ed, thank you so much for joining me for that.
Cheers, lads.
And I'll speak to you in the chat later, matey.
Okay.
Bye. There we go. That was Ed. And is DR here? Because next I want to talk about West Ham. If DR's not here, I will just talk about it myself. But yeah, hi Ashu, it's going great. Thank you so much for joining me today. West Ham are a weird one. This is why I would like to speak to DR. There we go. He's there. Excellent. Predictions. No, guys, you can ask me any questions you want. Don't worry about worrying if it's on topic or not. Deji versus, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know that was a fight. I'm gonna say Mayweather will win that one because he's a boxer and the other chap isn't. So there we go. Callum says, I thought they were doing better than what they are. Yeah, exactly. West Ham are another weird one. I'm joined by a West Ham fan. Hello, DR, mate.
Hello.
Hello. Basically, DR, mate, what is happening? Because I thought West Ham were going to do slightly worse. I think they finished 7th last season, I think. I predicted them to finish slightly worse than last season, but I thought they were going to be all right. I predicted them in 8th, and they are currently in 16th place. They've lost 9 times, which is the same amount as Southampton and Wolves, and they're both in the relegation zone. So what is the main reason for West Ham being so poor this season compared to last?
I think it's 2 points.
Okay.
Our manager David Moyes. I don't want him to see him at the club anymore.
Wow. Are you officially
only-
hashtag Moyes out?
Yes, the only reason we kept him because he played bad football, but we were getting results.
Okay.
Now we aren't getting results. All like good at the back. Like, what's the point of having him? We've brought in attacking players just for him to play them defensively. Like Skamaka's not getting any chances. Pakota's not getting any of the ball. We're just playing defensively and getting battered every game.
And how do you?
Now,
Sorry, DR, go on, mate.
second point, we just can't finish our chances. Our wingers especially have Fornals, who's been shocking when he's got the ball this season. He just grabs the ball, passes it back, and that's all he can do. He does a Sancho a lot of the time.
He does a Sancho.
Bowen,
Who's a fraud?
He gets the ball and he doesn't do anything with the ball. His speciality is to get the ball, run around and give it to the centre backs. That's all he done this season.
Hello, Oliver. It's going great. Thank you. DR wanted Thomas Frank, says Musty. I can't see him leaving Brentford, but hey, if you can throw enough money at him, that could be an interesting shout. And yeah, it's been a really weird season for West Ham so far. As I said, have you had any major injuries this season yet, DR, mate?
Cornet and Agwad.
Okay.
Cornet's played 2 games and then he's injured until January.
Mm-hmm.
And Agwad had his debut like a week ago. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was just gonna say, just looking at the top arrivals, they've invested a lot of money. West Ham. What is that? So 40. What is that? 70, 100, 120, 130. We're touching 150 million pounds spent in the summer transfer window on Paqueta, Skamaka, Agued, Kea, and Cornet. So a lot of money's been splashed. But do you think it's a case of David Moyes? He's sort of done a good job up until now, but now you've brought in better quality of player, and now to sort of get the most out of these players, you need a more attacking manager. Is that your sort of thought process?
Yeah, exactly. He can't utilize these players. I think he was last season, the players, he was just riding off the players' performances. Really, Bowen carried us that season. Without Bowen, we had some really bad performances. And I think we need a new manager. Can I give who I'd want?
Of course you can, mate. Of course you can. Yeah, go for it.
Realistically, Hasenhüttl from Southampton.
Okay.
Well, he left, but
yeah,
I think he plays good football, and I think he deserves a try at a bigger club that actually gives the player he wants. And then unrealistic, just throw all the money at the good managers. Just Tuchel, Frank, just everyone, just throw money at them and see who wants to join.
I like the Hasenhüttl shout, to be fair. Obviously another southern club, so we don't have to do that much relocating in relative terms. Chat, let me know what you guys reckon about what about that as a shout, Hasenhüttl to West Ham potentially if Moyes loses his job anyway. Mo says DR was telling me Moyes is better than Arteta and now he wants Hasenhüttl. DR, you're being outed as a fraud here, mate. Was that just a bit of Moyes hype from last season?
Hey, you got that West Ham scored to 7th, and Arteta was in 20th with Arsenal. And what do you want me to expect?
Yeah, so they're in 16th currently. They're actually only 1 point off the relegation zone. So for you, and looks at their form, 3 losses in a row. Their form's pretty terrible. For you, it's a matter of when rather than if for Moyes to get sacked?
He could do it Ollie and just start winning games and then save his job by getting mid-table. Or he could just, keep going with these losses. And I think if he loses versus Fulham, he's gone.
Fair play. And then last thing on West Ham, tell me, where do you think they will finish this season and grade their season so far?
I think without Moyes, will finish 8th, 9th, with Moyes 13th, and bottom tier for our season.
Bottom tier. Well, there you go. Thank you so much, DR, for speaking to me. Thank you for keeping me updated on West Ham. And I will see you in the chat later, my man.
Bye.
Bye. There we go. That was West Ham, chaps, and that was DR. I don't think we have any Leeds United fans in the chat. Do correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we do. In that case, Callum, if you do want to chat about how Bournemouth have been doing this season, you're more than welcome to come on and have a chat. You don't have to. You can just stay in the Twitch chat. And speak to me. Before we be going to Bournemouth, just while I let Callum decide what he wants to do, let's just speak about Leeds very briefly. Weird team, Leeds. Really weird team. Where did I predict them to finish? 16th. They are currently 15th, so it's around that sort of area that I'm thinking. Leeds had that crazy start and then lost like 6 games in a row. Yeah, it's the definition of hot and cold. It's loss, win, loss, including a very impressive win at Anfield, obviously, but then they conceded silly goals to Bournemouth and then did come back into it, fair play, but they weren't able to repeat that against Spurs, getting the lead and then throwing it away right at the end. It is a fan phone in AFC Ban TV. Yes, it is. I like Jesse Marsh, says Jack. No worries at all, Callum. But yeah, so Callum, let me know. Look, right as it stands, let's move on to Bournemouth. Actually, let's move straight on to Bournemouth. Bournemouth are currently 3 points off the relegation zone. They did get a crucial win in their most recent game, but before then it was a number of losses on the bounce. I predicted Bournemouth to get relegated. 19th place. It could still easily happen. What is happening at Bournemouth, Callum? What are the main issues? Because there obviously are issues there with all those defeats in a row. They sacked Scott Parker. They had that good run of form, not losing a game for a number of matches, but then ultimately has that honeymoon period already expired. Crazy kamikaze football, winning 4-3 every game won't work. After Bournemouth, we can speak about Blackburn when we get to just before Chelsea, Kante, if we can, just because it's going to be a number of clubs where we don't have fans who want to talk. So, for example, I don't think we've got any Leicester, Villa, Palace, or Brentford fans in the chat. There is a Brentford fan in the Discord server, but I don't know if he wants to join today. Callum says, if we didn't bottle those 2 leads against Leeds and Spurs, I'd feel a lot safer as a Premier League team. Says Callum. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a really worrying sign if you do the hard work, get the lead, and then just throw it away. It makes the whole exercise a little bit pointless and demoralising at the same time. What you can't do is leak goals, and that is exactly what Bournemouth have been doing. In terms of goal difference, it's the exact same as Southampton. It's actually is it the worst? I know they had that 9-0 battering against Liverpool, so that can't help matters, but it is the worst defensive record in the entire Premier League. It's worse than Nottingham Forest's, and that is saying something. So it's obvious where the problems at Bournemouth are. That being said, they do score plenty of goals compared to other relegation rivals. Bournemouth are a little shaky, says King Josh. Yes, Josh, we were on Leeds earlier. Sorry for not catching that, but thank you to the chat for letting me. Sorry for updating you. Getting rid of Parker was the right decision. Gary O'Neill has done an excellent job. He knew he wouldn't be permanent. Credit to him. If we stay up, and Ed says O'Neill's done a good job since he's come in at Bournemouth. And let me know. So is O'Neill going to be the manager until the end of the season? Is that right? And also, Callum, if you could let me know, where do you think Bournemouth are going to finish this season? Currently in 14th, but which sounds great. No, it's LDR, so it sounds great, but it's the fact that they're only 3 points off the relegation zone. In fairness, would the expectation to be to get relegated? I'm not sure. So yeah, Callum, let me know, where do you think they're going to finish and grade their season so far? Musty says, I predicted Bournemouth to stay up before the season started. Just to confirm, I said 19th place. I do still think they will get relegated. They did have a really good run of games under O'Neill after Parker was sacked, but I do just feel like... Who's their most recent win against? I can't actually remember. Oh, Everton, there you go. Yeah, I just don't know if they're going to be able to survive the whole season, that's all. O'Neill's like Ranić at United in terms he's an interim manager, says Ed. And once Callum lets me know that, we can just have a very brief chat about these mid-table sides. As I said, I don't think there's any fans who want to come on and talk about those. That's a thing. Here we go. Here's Callum's summation. I'm almost certain we'll have a new manager during this World Cup break. I can still see us staying up. Not too fussed as to where 15th to 16th would be. Incredible, absolutely would, Callum, because I think most people thought that Bournemouth were going down. Oh yeah, you said earlier Bielsa's linked with them. I did predict Bournemouth to have the worst season in Premier League history or something like that. So yeah, they've proven me wrong so far. And yeah, Mustard says Bielsa at Bournemouth. IMO could be an interesting one if that does happen. He did do a good job at Leeds. Obviously, it was half crumbled towards the end, but shouldn't take it away from him. Right, Callum, thank you so much for chatting to me about Bournemouth. Leicester are a weird one. I thought Brendan Rodgers was going to lose his job. Then, out of nowhere, Leicester started to actually win games. Their form recently has been really good. They were in genuine danger of getting relegated. They've actually got 0 goal difference, which is interesting. But as I say, they've picked up some really important results. They played well against City, I thought. It was only because of a world-class free kick that City were able to beat Leicester. A Danny Ward redemption arc. Yeah, he's got the most clean sheets in the league, I believe. So he's been doing an absolute bit. So yeah, a terrible start to the season. They've actually lost 8 games. They haven't been getting a number of... They've won 5 games. 4 of those wins have come in the last 5 games. So it's a huge turnaround at Leicester. Potentially, Rodgers will keep his job. Ward has as many clean sheets as Edison. There you go. So he must have the joint best in the league, I assume. Pope has 1 more. Oh, never mind. Lol. God, Newcastle are doing a madness, aren't they? Ward became the reincarnation of Buffon, says Musty. Hello, Champions League winners 21. The only loss in the last 5 was against City as well. Yes, you're absolutely correct, mate. You're absolutely correct. And that was only because of a brilliant... that was only because of a world-class Kevin De Bruyne free kick. Apart from that, they were defensively solid and defensively sound. Who's next? Aston Villa. Again, I'm just going to speed through these mid-table sides. Nice desktop. Thank you, mate. Let's go speed through these mid-table sides. Aston Villa. Where did I predict Leicester? What is that? 8th, 9th. Well, they're currently 13th. They could genuinely still do that, to be fair. They could genuinely still do that. It is a good text. And Aston Villa, who did I say there? I said 13th. They're currently 12th, so not too far off. Crystal Palace. Oh, God, I can't even see because my fat fingers are in the way. Look at. This is a great predictions video, by the way, guys. If you haven't already seen it, what you're doing. Look at my face. Right, so I've got Palace in 8th, 9th, 10th. They are currently in 11th. So again, that's around about where I thought they would be. And Brentford, I said 14th. They've been doing really well as well. Shout out Brentford. Sorry, guys. The reason I'm speeding through these just because we don't really have any fans who want to talk about these clubs. And speaking of overperforming, Fulham as well. I'm pretty sure I said 17th, and they are in 9th. They're probably the biggest overperformers of the season. Film on my phone. Yes, Jack. No, wait, that wasn't my phone, actually, Alfie. No, that was my Canon PowerShot camera. Right, Chelsea. Do I have a Chelsea fan who wants to come on and chat? Where's Jack? Where's Jackie Fraud? I can see lots. I can see who does Harry support? I can see a Liverpool fan and a United fan. Do we have a Chelsea fan? I'm basically asking if Jack is here. I don't think he is. Just realised that you have some sort of birthmark on your nose. Never even realised that. Yes, but always been there, Lucas. Where is Squirmy exactly? Shut up, Musty, you frauds. I guess, if he's not here, then I would just lambast Chelsea. That is a thing. I can talk about Chelsea for a long, if needs be. If Jack doesn't want to talk about them because he's not even here. Chelsea are such a weird team. I don't even really know what to make of them. They shouldn't have ever sacked Tuchel. I'm not saying that bringing in Potter's a bad decision at all because I do really like Graham Potter. But I mean, look at the form. Draw, loss, and they got knocked out of the League Cup as well. And they've been pretty spineless this whole season. They've been pretty spineless this whole season. We haven't done Arsenal yet. We're doing it in ascending order. Night Shifter, don't you worry. They've been spineless this season. They shouldn't have sacked Tuchel. Graham Potter is a good manager. He's going to need time. And also, let's not forget that none of these players are his signings. I appreciate he did have Kukurea at Brighton, but none of these players he signed. So, do you know what I mean? He needs to be given time and money and trust. Chelsea spend like 200 mil every summer and get worse somehow. It's very impressive. Give Potter time, that's all he needs. Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of the signings were ridiculous. Fofana for 80 million is absolutely... And Jack says 80 million for Fofana, dear me. Yeah, that is absolutely outrageous. Koulibaly, I don't even know if he's been good. Koulibaly is... At the start, he seemed like a rock. He seemed solid, but he just keeps making really odd mistakes and odd lapses in judgment. Zachariah, I've not seen nearly enough of him. Adam Armstrong owns Koulibaly, and Champions League winner says spent 300 mil in the summer and got worse somehow. Trust the process. Koulibaly's been pretty bad. They miss Rudiger, says Champions League winners. We could talk about Blackburn after this, Kante, if you'd like. But yeah, I'm convinced that Graham Potter can work wonders at Chelsea, but Cheeks, he needs time. I'm not saying he's been perfect so far. You know, Jack, who is a Chelsea fan, has talked about how he's not happy with how Potter doesn't know his best team. He keeps changing formations, etc., etc. But just give him some time, yeah? The reason it worked at Brighton was because players bought into his philosophy and was able to bring in his own players, etc., etc., etc. That's happened yet at Chelsea because he hasn't been given the opportunity to do so. So just give the man time. Do you know what I mean? And he will come good. I just really hope that this beautiful man isn't sacked prematurely. Potter would probably have been sacked if Roman was still in charge. And I really hope that he's not a victim. Oren says, Chelsea fans deserve this after thinking they are all that after a Mickey Mouse Champions League run. That's a given considering the difference in players, levels, and egos. Other Jack, there's another Jack. There's many people in this world called Jack. Most of the time, I'm a supporter of Leicester. I've been prevented from practicing my free speech. Shut up, Mo. Shut up. But look at this beautiful man, Raheem Sterling. He's top of the league in respect of Chelsea top goal scorers. Look at that with 3 goals. I don't think Aubameyang was the solution to their striking problems. I thought he was a really weird signing. I don't know what... I know it would have cost a lot of money, but look, they spent 80 million quid on Fofana, who had 1 good season with Leicester and was injured for the next season. They can splash the cash on Ivan Toney. It's a thing. I don't know why that didn't happen. Look, obviously, Brentford... what's the word? Brentford not going to let him go easily. Throw money at them. Every player has their price, especially a club like Brentford, where it's all like Moneyball. It's all about the financials. They will have a price for Toney. I really don't get why they didn't go in hard for a player like that. Take a masterclass as per. He was never the right signing for them. He's not a creator. Sorry, who's that, Mo? Chelsea always fail to sign strikers. And yeah, this is a really weird thing about Chelsea. Apart from Diego Costa, since Drogba, basically all of their strikers have failed. Even before Drogba, there were a number of failures. I don't really know what's happening there. Like, Lukaku should have been it on his second return to Chelsea. Sorry, on his return to Chelsea, second time at the club. He should have been the striker. Just didn't really work out for him. I don't fully understand what's going on at that club in respect of strikers just shitting it when they get to Chelsea. Oh, Sterling, yeah. Sterling casually flopping, Mo said as well. Yeah, it's a shame because I love Sterling. You guys know I really like Sterling. He's not being used... I will say he's not being used properly. I've seen him being played at wing-back sometime. Never played there in his career. It's certainly not for City. I assume for Liverpool as well. Morata as well. Going to Chelsea as an attacker is career suicide. 100 mil on a holiday in Milan. That's outrageous, yeah. And it was really weird... transfer activity in respect to they allowed Rudiger and Christensen to run down their contracts. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but Timo Werner's gone back to Leipzig and he's scoring goals again, isn't he? So, weird situation there. Still wants more minutes. He can get his minutes at wing back now. Callum says, I'd say Oba was at the time the better option as he's proven for multiple seasons to be able to score. Toney, not so much, says Callum. I guess I was more sort of thinking about the future because Toney's still a relatively youngish player. Is he in his mid-20s, Toney? Or is Aubameyang in his 30s? So, not sure. That I'm just not sure why they didn't go in hard for it. I'm not sure why Tony's still at Brentford. No disrespect to Brentford. They have to be a money laundering scheme. I just realised how bad they are. Well, speaking of bad, Blackburn got beaten handedly today by Burnley. I'm joined by a Blackburn fan now. Hello, Kante, mate.
Hey, mate.
Oh, sorry, just to finish on the Chelsea point. I said Chelsea were going to finish 4th. They're currently in 8th. I don't think they'll get top 4. I think they will be 5th or 6th, to be honest, by the end of the season. But yes, we're going to have a quick chat about Blackburn. I mean, first of all, Kante, how you doing?
50-50.
50-50. Well, Burnley obviously beat Blackburn today. I think it was 3-0 in the end, I believe. A very important game in respect of the championship. Here is the table. Vincent Kompany's Burnley goes 3 points clear of Sheffield United and now 5 points ahead of Blackburn going into Christmas. But can't say Blackburn are still 3rd, so that they're therefore in the playoff spots and they're only 2 points off automatic playoffs. So how would you sort of rate Blackburn's season so far? I've just realised they're still yet to draw a game. I've only just realised that. Goodness me.
Yeah. It's been all right. Okay. I think we could have, like, the games we've lost, we could have drawn. When we've won, we've played really good football, but when we've lost, we've played really bad football.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 50-50 if we play good or bad. Like, you would, probably because I'm there. Like, it's like a fortress. I think that I've won 5 and 6 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just interesting how many games you've lost. It's to say it's 9. It's a lot, and you've like also won a lot. In fact, if you won more than anyone else in the league, so you have won more than anyone else in the league. So that's fair enough. But 9 losses is a bit of a worry because you got to go down to 12th place for a team to have more losses than Blackburn. If you go even further than that, you've got to go down to 17th, Stoke City. And then you're looking at the teams which are more in and around the relegation zone. So what is the reason for such a high number of wins and a high number of losses?
It's just how we play, really. It's like sometimes our plays are really tired and sometimes they're not. Like we saw, Ed will agree, against Coventry, we just weren't up for it. Like we were playing out from the back and just not caring. We can't time our passes correctly in like midweek matches or away.
And where do you foresee them being at the end of the season? Do you think they'll still be in that playoff picture? Do you think they'll automatically qualify, or do you think they will have dropped off and fallen out of the playoffs?
If we can win more, 2nd.
Oh wow, that's bold. Okay, yeah. Do you think that's likely to happen?
No.
Okay, so what do you think is likely to happen?
Playoffs.
So like, what is that, 3rd to 6th? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And will you win those playoffs?
Depends who we play in the first lot.
Assuming you win the first one, will you win the final against, I don't know, Norwich, let's say?
We'll beat them six finger twats. Yeah, easy.
Love the confidence from that. Callum says they were sort of lucky to keep Ben, Barrett, and Diaz. Is that your striker, Kante?
He's our winger.
He's your winger
player.
And is he on a loan? Is he a permanent player?
He came on loan like in 2018. We signed him for 7 million. He didn't do anything for like the first years.
Yeah.
And then he came alive last season and started banging in goals for fun. And he still is.
There you go. So I'm guessing as long as he keeps the scoring up, they'll be fine. But yeah, I'm sorry. Just the more I look at these stats, the more perplexed I am. We've got Burnley goal difference of 17, Sheffield United goal difference of 16, Blackburn goal difference of 2. It's just it's like you got 2. It looks like, I don't watch the Championship. It looks like you got 2 teams who are probably significantly better than the rest in Burnley and Sheffield United. And then,
at the start of the season, we lost 2 games in a row, 3-0. So that instantly takes away 6 goal difference, and then we went on win loss, which just I don't know how we did that. We just were inconsistent. Then we picked up a bit of inconsistency, and then we lost to fucking Coventry.
Ed's team, the mighty Coventry, and there they go. They've won 4 on the bounce. Shout out Coventry. It looks like a really tight Championship season. To be fair, the difference in points between
It is a really weak championship this season, but it is really tight.
It's a weak championship, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, for example, 31, Huddersfield, who are bottom of the table, are only 12 points off the playoffs, which is, four wins. No, it's not. And, which is a little bit mad how tight it is. And then finally, Kante, sort of grade Blackburn's season so far.
C+.
C+, there you go. Jack says...
Just because we brought in loads of our academy players and they're playing really well.
Excellent. Championship's too much. My fragile southern mind won't be able to cope next season, says Jack. We had a chat about Bournemouth AFC Band TV. You can join the Discord if you want to have even more of a chat, but we did speak to Callum about Bournemouth. But there we go. That's Kante. Kante, thank you so much for coming on and chatting about Blackburn.
Wait, can I just ask you one more question, mate?
Yeah, sure.
As I am now Boris Johnson, did you vote or did you not vote for Brexit?
I voted Remain because I'm sensible.
Oh, you fucking twat. Kill yourself.
See you, Kante. Love you.
Love you.
Bye. There we go. That was Kante. Say shout out to Kante for joining me there, chatting about Blackburn. Very odd season they're having so far. Brighton, God, I wish we had a Brighton fan, man. I love Brighton so much. What do you mean comment on it? That's outrageous, Musty. Brighton is so good. I love Brighton. Where did I predict them? I thought they were going to have a good season. I predicted them like high, mid-table. Where is that? 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I predicted them to finish in 12th. They're currently in 7th, doing really good, even after losing Graham Potter. It's a shame they lost against Aston Villa today, but they're doing absolute bits. Love the way Brighton play. They had more of the ball against City. They passed more against City, and maybe they deserve a draw for their good performance at City as well. Really brave team. And get your fingers off the screen, Musty. What? Oh, you mean my cursor? And yeah, I just really like Brighton. It's a shame we don't have a Brighton fan to talk about them. De Zerbi ball is immense as Mo. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Right. Liverpool. Let's talk about Liverpool, shall we? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're not wrong. Let's talk about Liverpool, shall we? I want to bring in... oh, Mo, you're not even here. Which Liverpool fans do I have that want to talk about Liverpool? Please let me know in the Twitch chat if you want to talk about Liverpool. As I say, I'm assuming Mo does. Oren does as well. Lovely stuff. Let's bring in Oren Slayer. And Mo, if you want to talk about Liverpool, you're more than welcome to. Just hop into the... Oh, there you go. You've hopped in. And lovely.
Hello. Hello, Nobbins.
Hello, Oren. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Can you hear me well?
I can, yeah. I love your accent, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. You're very kind.
No worries at all. And Mo...
We're talking about Liverpool, are we?
Yeah, we are. And Mo, I hate your accent. So, Mo, speak to me, mate. You fraud.
Wait, shut the fuck up.
There we go. Hello, Mo. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Jack says Mo sounds different. Yeah, sounds much more Irish, doesn't he? But no, let's start with...
That's racism, though.
Let's start with Orange Slayer. It's his stream debut. So it's exciting.
Hi guys.
It's exciting time for me and Oren, and indeed all of you guys. So Liverpool are currently in 6th place. I predicted them to finish in 2nd place. I think it's fair to say it was a disastrous start for Liverpool. They're basically already out of the title race. I think it's fair to say, they 10 points off City, 15 points off
15 points off Arsenal.
Yeah,
it's a madness.
Yeah, there you go. So Oren, I mean, first of all, I'm assuming, you might be happy with the season, but just tell me your sort of overall thoughts on the season so far. I'm assuming you aren't happy with how it's gone, but you go for it. You let me know your thoughts on how Liverpool have been this season for you.
Well, there's been a lot of disappointment, but there has been some promising stuff. You gotta be a bit positive sometimes. You get what I'm saying? You gotta be a bit positive. We've had some good ones. We've had a pretty decent Champions League run. Apart from that Napoli loss, we won't talk about. But we had that. We had the City win. I don't think you want to hear about the City win, do you, Nobbins? We'll talk less about that.
No, it's all right. Carry on.
We had some promising young little lads come through. You got Harvey Elliott. He's been very good so far. He has made hasn't been perfect, but he's been very nice. Like he's promised enough. You've had Carvalho, who obviously scored that goal, that last-minute goal against Newcastle. He's showed a bit of promise. He's been okay. He's been okay. You got Darwin Núñez. I think he has been a good signing. You know, he's bagged in goals. He's done his job. You can't really blame Darwin Núñez. He's not a problem. Some people will say he is, mainly because of that price tag, and mainly because of what he's compared to. But he has been pretty good. He has done his job well enough. He has scored goals, and that's what he came in to do. He's pressured. He's been pretty good on the pressuring side of things, which was a big part of what we was sold on him. I think Stefan. Hold on, put it in the warmer drawer. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Stefan. However you pronounce it, he looked pretty good. And I think he's a future player that you have to watch out for.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all very positive from you, Oren. I love the upbeat attitude. I'm just gonna briefly pivot to Mo, who I expect is going to be quite negative by contrast. We've had the lovely positivity from Oren there. Mo, I expect you're going to be the opposite in respect of your thoughts on Liverpool, because you're an angry man. Let's be honest.
Oh wait, I'm not angry, but I am angry at this season, yeah, because we've not been that good realistically. I'm especially looking at a certain Brazilian and a certain man from the Netherlands. I've been seeing some very suspicious performance, and against Southampton they were both good. Are they saving themselves for the World Cup? I highly doubt it, but they've both been not good. Just saying.
100%.
What else am I gonna say? Yeah, Trent. I mean, I don't know what to say about Trent, to be honest. I think everything has already been said about him. Not good at all. He was alright against Southampton, but defensively not good. And if he's not giving up for it with his attacking output, then what's the point, really?
Exactly.
Musty, could you please add that as an actual quote, please? Thank you. Mo, you've just been quoted as saying,
What did I say?
I'm not angry, but I am angry, yeah. Is what you said.
It makes sense, yeah.
You've obviously singled out a number of players there: Fabinho, Van Dijk, or Van Disney, as I believe you've been calling him, and obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Virgil Van Disney. Yeah.
There we go. So, like, why are they? What's the cause of this huge drop off? Because it's been like
I think I've got an answer for this.
Oh yeah, go.
I saw this on the Athletic the other day, I think, or something like that. In the 7th season of Klopp at Dortmund, what's his name? Gundogan did an interview, or someone from that generation. They were really good. Reached Champions League final, won like 2 Bundesliga titles. He said that at the end, when they won all of that stuff, they started to get complacent. Like, a player thinks, after all of those wins, why is it that I still have to run 15 kilometers a game? Why does it matter? I've already won. Stuff like this. Complacency does not work, because when like 2 or 3 players mess up, the whole press is already gone. And when we play such a high line, there's so much space in behind. Like what we said from like Zaha, Somerville, all of them, it's really not good, especially with Trent. Because really, if the press gets broken early, the teams target Trent, long balls in behind them, Trossard, Zaha, they've all had master classes at Anfield because the press isn't good.
There we go.
which also tends back to complacency. Like, why? Like, Salah has not been good in. Okay, I'll say his name probably. Salah has not been good in the pressing. Nunes has been alright, but the pressing hasn't been good enough. So Henderson, don't get me started on fucking Henderson. He's so fucking bad.
Oh my fucking god.
He's so bad. He's so bad.
Such a donkey. He is such a donkey.
Bloody Henderson.
There we go. I think Mo's had a bit of a vent there, and Oren, I'll come to you now. Mo's covered some problems there. What are your thoughts on like what Mo said and sort of like the problems at Liverpool this season?
I 100% agree. Like, we have a lot of problems. I'm going to get to that now. I think the first problem is that bloody midfield. I think our only midfielders that have been somewhat decent for us, somewhat at like a decent enough level, is Thiago Alcantara. I love that man, and Thiago Alcantara is great, and Harvey Elliott. Now, the problem I have with Harvey Elliott, he isn't really a box to box. He isn't that great defensively. Mm-hmm. He's a good creative player, and you see it most of the time. Like, starts sort of drifting out wide a bit, and like, I just think he is more of a traditional winger than a sort of box to box.
He doesn't have that
He's-
sort of
It's
instincts.
a waste because playing him in midfield won't really work with the high press and the tracking back. But there's also like probably the greatest right winger to ever play in the Premier League ahead of him, so he can't really get any game time. So it's a bit of a waste for him.
True, that is true. You got a point there. But our main problem is the fact in the transfer market, we're cocky. The people upstairs. There's this quote I have ingrained in my mind. Well, I can't say it word for word, but I remember it where it's something like, on transfer day, Liverpool watches as teams panic buy or something like that. 2 days later, we signed fucking Arthur Mello. And
And
it's
he's
just...
injured for 4 months now, yeah.
Exactly. And
I love
we
that.
could have signed, like, we went for Tukamenti. I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, my ball knowledge is absolutely horrible. I'm going to see the chat slaughter me for that pronunciation.
Chouameni, something like that. Something like that.
Chouameni, yeah. Chouameni. We tried to get him and we didn't get them, but we still should have signed a bloody midfielder. We had Mateus Nunes from Sporting Lisbon that went to Wolves this season. He's been balling out.
I'm so mad about that. I am so mad about it. We had like how many midfielders was it? Like 3 or 4.
There's
we had Bruno. We had Bruno Guimaraes. We went behind him for a lot of time. He's balling at Newcastle now. Such a good player. And Mateus Nunes. All of this because Klopp was too cocky. He said at the start, was like, yeah, we have Fabinho, we have Oxlade-Chamberlain, we have Thiago, we have all that, and now he's complaining about depth. I'm so fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's a...
Look,
sorry, Aaron, go on.
I will say this, right? I don't think that's really much... Look, Klopp has this habit, right? And it's not a bad habit per se, and it's why some people don't like him, where it's that he defends his players out at the press, and I think that's a decent enough thing, right? I don't think he really means that. I think he puts on this facade. I think secretly, behind the scenes, this is pure like theories, and that he is probably pissed off with the lack of investment and the absolute bloody donkey business that is going on behind the scenes with 1 or 2 signings, 1 or 2 big signings. Like the year after we won the Champions League, we made no first team signings. I think the only first team signing we made was Adrian, and he was a free. He's now our 3rd choice goalkeeper. That was the only one we made that season. And sure, we went for the title next year. That was great. But eventually, in the long run, that destroyed us. We could have gone so many good players that year. We could have gone, I don't know, like we could have gone new midfielders, that sort of stuff.
Just speaking of midfielders, sorry Mo, just speaking of midfielders, Musty asks, do either of you think that Liverpool are going to get Jude Bellingham? Because a lot's been said of Bellingham. There's lots of links with Liverpool, whether it's going to be in January or the following season, etc. Do you guys... First of all, do you want that to happen? And secondly, do you think it will happen?
Well,
You go first. Mo.
I think he is going to go next summer. If he does go next summer, I think it'll be maybe a season too early for Liverpool to go for him. Because I think if new owners come in, they're like ambitious, want to spend whatever, they will get him. But maybe next season they won't have fully bought the club yet. Maybe there's like some FFB stuff here, FFB stuff there. I think he will go to Real Madrid at the end.
And what about you, Oren, mate?
Look, I agree. I think if we don't make Champions League, then there's no hope in hell. We are not getting anyone if we don't make Champions League. If we do make Champions League, there's still a very slim chance. I'd say 15% chance. Real Madrid is just simply... We've seen it before with... how the fuck do you pronounce his name again?
Chouameni?
Chouameni.
Yeah.
We've seen it with him. Real Madrid is just such a luxurious place to go to, and everyone will want to go to Real Madrid. Even as big as Liverpool are, one of the biggest clubs in England, you're not going to beat Real Madrid. Real Madrid is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Real Madrid are the main characters of this world, yeah. The Galacticos, the hype, the everything. Yeah, they are the pinnacle of world football. If anyone has the chance to play for them, obviously they will.
And Musty, I think Musty's done it as a sort of tongue-in-cheek comment. He's put hashtag Klopp out. But to be fair, there has been a lot of talk this season, about not saying Klopp out, but sort of questioning, is he coming under pressure because it has been a really poor start to the season. Currently in 6th place, might not get top 4. What are your guys' sort of thoughts on the whole Klopp situation? Do you not doubt Klopp at all, or do you think we need to be having like a sort of conversation at this stage?
I thought we needed to have a conversation maybe like a month ago. We were in the trenches. We were like below Bournemouth in the league table. It was really bad. But then a couple of good wins stringed together, like Spurs, City. Obviously, we lost to like Nottingham Forest and Leeds in between. But a couple of good wins stringed together, a good performance against Napoli. Then I think we will bounce back eventually. Maybe we'll get top 4, but I don't think he needs to go.
Okay. And Oren?
I think that Klopp's done everything he possibly can. He changed the formation. The 4-4-3 obviously was not working with Darwin Núñez and Mo Salah on the team. So what he did was he decided to put 2 up front. I think that's brilliant. That was a brilliant plan, and it's made our team, improve a bit. Now, of course, it hasn't improved us to a level where we're consistently good again, but we do look better in that sort of formation. Darwin looks a lot better. He's been bagging in the goals ever since we switched to that. He's done most of the count. I think the problem is with effort. Like, I've seen it with Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk's going to be an example. He fucking had one of the best performances I've seen out of him in a long time against Man City. I know I don't want to bring up the Man City game in front of you, Nobbins, but he put Haaland in his bully pocket. He put his body on the line for that game, and then for half of the other games against bottom table clubs, he just goes missing. He tries to sort of hide himself. I don't know if it's a thing where it's like he's trying to protect himself for like the World Cup, or maybe like he's just fearing maybe another ACL injury that he got a few years back. It happened a wee bit as well last season, I think. Brentford, there was that Brentford game where he drew 2-2 and Van Dijk was horrendous that game. I remember that very well, and that was the first time I was like, this is not Virgil van Dijk. But he had a good season last year, and I don't think that is that. I'm not sure if it's laziness, if it's him protecting himself, or maybe he just likes to show off in the big games. And if that is true, then that's just not acceptable. That shouldn't be allowed. You have to bring your A game every single game.
Absolutely. And Trent is a fraud, says Ed. I agree with that, to be honest.
Not hard though, is it?
Very, very succinctly put by both Mo and Oren. If you guys want sort of my more detailed thoughts on why I think Liverpool are struggling this season, you can go watch my sensational YouTube video about it. I know for a fact you watched it, Mo, and it was a bloody good video, wasn't it?
It was a good video.
Thank you.
I want to talk about one thing else.
Oh yeah, of course.
The lack of investment. See, I'm not just going to bash FSG here, but I am going to put the blame on Klopp as well.
Okay.
Maybe he says this for the media because he doesn't want much controversy about around Liverpool, because it's not a good environment. The lack of investment, and the arrogance from him. How dare he? He's saying that we have the best everything in the world, and now he's complaining about squad depth. It really does not make sense to me. And when we're on top of the world, Champions League, Premier League, it's as Mourinho said, it's easy to get to the top, but it's hard to stay at the top. Buying unknown players and waiting for them to explode won't work for much longer. You need to invest in proven quality.
Hello, Hashton. How are you doing, mate? Yeah, you raised a good point, Mo. This was something I covered in my Liverpool video, where Klopp's outwardly said he prefers working with small squads. He feels he can manage them better. But small squad plus really intense style of play equals plenty of injuries, and it's not really sustainable.
And then he goes and complains about those injuries. Bizarre behavior. But then, keeping buying players from like Leipzig, Southampton, Hoffenheim, whatever, it will work. Maybe they'll explode, but it can't keep you at the top for much longer. You need to invest in proven quality. Like if you need a good profile and there's only a couple of players in there, why not splash 100 million, 80 million on him? If it fits the profile, why not? You need to do that to compete.
There we go. Thank you for that, chaps. Oren, did you watch my YouTube video on Liverpool, you fraud?
I'm going to get into a bit of trouble here, but I don't think I did. I don't remember it.
Well,
now.
that's outrageous. That is your task. That's your task after we finish this stream. Yeah. Go watch it.
Homework now,
yes, exactly.
I got homework now.
Yes, you will like it, to be fair, because it is an in-depth analysis on Liverpool. Wait, how did Liam get dragged in here on his own? Hello?
I don't know.
What a fraud.
I
Oh,
just asked to be dragged in.
I didn't
and
even
then
drag him in. How would that
Luke
happen?
told someone to do it, and then
Oh.
they put me in here, mate.
Oh, that's fair enough. Oh, I mean, Liam, to be honest, mate, oh, must have dragged him in. That's fair enough. I was so confused. I'm not going to lie, Lee. We're just about to wrap up the Liverpool talk.
We've got time.
But I say we could just before I come to you, Liam, I'll just ask Mo and Oren. Mo first. Where Liverpool are currently 6th. Where do you think they'll finish at the end of the season, and how would you rank their season so far?
I think we'll finish 4th.
Yeah.
I'll give it a solid C minus.
Okay, and Oren, mate, same questions to you.
Going to be honest, rather 4th or 5th, and I give the season a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10.
There we go. Thank you for that. You're more than welcome to stay here just while I speak to Liam, because I'm sure Liam will not be controversial at all, and everyone will agree with what he has to say.
Are we winning the league, Liam? It's outrageous shit.
No, we're not.
First of all, Liam, would you like to accept that you were wrong earlier based on the DM that I sent you? Would you like to accept that you were wrong because I provided you with outright evidence and facts?
It wasn't 70, but it was more than I thought.
So would you like to accept you were wrong?
I was correct, guys.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
What's that about? What's that about, mate?
It's about the conversation we had earlier.
Guys, don't listen to this fraud.
I literally sent you photographic evidence, Liam. Just admit you were wrong, mate.
I actually haven't seen it.
That's all I ask. Just admit you were wrong, mate.
What's going on?
Right. So,
I assume Liam is wrong. I assume Liam is wrong here.
Yeah, yes, he is. Yes, I literally sent him a photo proving why he was wrong. Liam, all I'm asking, mate, just accept you're wrong, and I'll shut up about it.
Is that a month?
That's from one video.
Yeah, but it says 0908.
Yeah, because it's American.
Ah, I see. Okay, maybe I am wrong if that's one video.
No. Just say it. No. Just say it. Just say I was wrong. Just say it.
Guys, I was not wrong.
Right. Okay. No, Liam, I'm not going to talk to you about Liverpool until you admit it.
Right. No, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, basically, it was a conversation about earnings from TikTok. I said if you have a video which is around 3 million views, you can earn around 70 quid from it. Liam said you're a liar and that is wrong. I provided him with photo evidence saying it was correct.
27.
Did he think it was more or less?
He thought it was much less. He thought it was like less than a tenner or something. He was giving me examples of that. So Liam, I proved that you were wrong. So just
I was wrong. Fair enough.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Liam. That's all I wanted. There we go. Liam admits he was wrong. Who'd have thought? Anyway, now we could.
I do it all the time.
There we go. So yeah, so
Liam, you're wrong like 80% of the time.
Before I go, can I just say one last thing?
Of course you can, Oren. You don't have to go either if you don't want to.
I'm gonna leave. I want to eat my pepperoni pizza.
Fairs.
This season may be bad, but it isn't as bad as watching bloody Dejan Lovren against Tottenham at Wembley. That was one of the most brutal experiences. And if you think this season's bad, go watch that game. We lost 4-1, and Dejan Lovren looked like, I don't know, like an octopus out of the ocean.
Mate, that season we've lost fucking Leeds at home. This season's worse than that season.
It was a good. I don't care. That was a shite game. I never want to watch that again.
That's one game.
Hell, I don't care. It was a shite game.
We got
I never want to watch that again.
Anyway,
the Champions League final.
Anyway,
but that Dejan Lovren game permanently traumatized me. I'll never recover from that.
Was that the season where he said he was one of the best defenders in the world?
Yeah.
Classic.
That's when he reached the World Cup final with Croatia, and he thought he had some Ballon d'Or shouts. I don't know who gave him that confidence, but he thought he had some.
Anyway, let's now move on to Liam's sort of thoughts on the season so far.
Bye.
But goodbye, Oren. Enjoy your pizza. Mo, you're more than welcome to stay and have a dialogue with Liam. What's that? Sorry.
I want Mo to stay. Keep Mo here.
I just said Mo's welcome to stay. Yeah, I just said that.
Lovely.
Okay.
No one cares about your opinion. That's why. Yeah, go on, Liam.
Okay. Anyway, going back to this. So yeah, so as I say, I thought Liverpool were going to get second. I think Liam, you predicted Liverpool to finish second or first in the league. They're currently 6th.
I said first.
You said first. Okay.
Yeah, of course he did.
There you go. So obviously, it's not. Obviously, that's not. I mean, that's not going to happen. They're currently 15 points off top spot.
Never say never.
So
we can't say never.
So where's it gone wrong for Liverpool? What are the main issues they're in? How and can those issues get fixed this season? And if so, how?
There's a very obvious answer, and you know I'm going to answer the question in this way.
Okay.
The cancer is gone.
Oh,
FSG are going.
Yeah.
So now we're back. We're back.
But I mean, they're not gone yet, though, are they? They do still own Liverpool
for now. But
okay,
give it.
I think it'll take quite a while before.
Give it for the way Klopp is
get 100% of the club.
The way Klopp is lubing my arsehole in them conferences, he knows who they are.
The new owners.
But I mean, Baldy,
the eighth richest man in the world wants to buy Liverpool, apparently.
I mean,
the Mukesh.
Sorry,
Mukesh Ambani.
Baldy is Hashton, by the way. Baldy, if you do want to come in and you know, have an FSG debate with Liam, you're more than welcome to, if you would like to. You don't have to, but if you'd like to have a chat, you're more than welcome to. Yeah. So Liam, you're convinced. So you're now like very FSG out nowadays, aren't you? Is that correct?
To be honest, I wasn't like until I've like fully understood how shit of a position we're in. If we was playing well right now, there wouldn't be a reason for me to be like, because I would have just been wrong about the midfield, but I'm clearly not, and most people clearly aren't. So yeah, if you're not going to invest, fuck off.
No, it's more. It's not like necessarily FSG out, just hatred. Most Liverpool fans just feel relief that we might have some owners that will actually just invest. We're a serious football club now. Maybe we are. Maybe.
But Boris says I watch from the sidelines. No worries. I guess if you disagree, you can always type out in the chat if you'd like to. Excuse me. Yeah. So FSG potentially on the way out. When that happens, I'm not sure. Will it just be a minority sale at first and then a long-term thing?
LNobbins, I assume there's some legal restrictions. Can someone just go and splash £5 billion to just buy Liverpool instantly? Is there some legal?
No, it'll take a while, but I think for them to, you know how FSG are, for them to leak it, something must be at least a little bit advanced, because they wouldn't say they're for sale.
Yeah.
I'll say fair play to FSG. They bought the club for a piss amount of money. They extracted the most revenue they can out of it, and now they're selling it for the most amount of money they can.
Either they've just struck gold in multiple ways with Klopp and the fact they bought it for so cheap and they're selling for so high. They're just some very lucky people, but it's fine. They're going. We'll be okay.
BMO, I don't think there should be any restrictions because as long as it passes the proper owners test by the Premier League, it should be fine. For example, Chelsea, they did their sale quite quickly, didn't they? That only took a few months.
Newcastle didn't
to get that.
If they're Arabs, it will take ages.
Well, well, if you watch my Newcastle video, then you know.
It wasn't a problem with the Premier League. It was the beIN Sports broadcasting.
Yeah, exactly. That was a wide. That was a and you'd know that if you watch the video, Drill. You fraud.
Actually, no. I know that because I lived in the moment for this actually. When Qatar banned beIN Sports from Saudi Arabia, it was fucking madness. Everybody started. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, so that was an off-pitch issue, but yeah, so assuming that the owners are not, assuming there's not an issue there shouldn't be an issue with selling them. I just suspect it might be more like a sort of like a Kroenke thing at Arsenal where he gets a minority stakeholding.
Give me that human rights violation money right now. Give me that human rights violation.
No, it's going to be a full sale.
No, I think it'll be a long-term full sale. I just don't know whether it'll be an immediate full sale.
Then maybe buy 15% right now and gradually buy the whole club.
Yeah, I think
think the way all the news things and even Pep Linders the other day saying how they've been good owners and it's just bollocks like that. I can't. They're just trying to PR spin.
And no, yeah, it does feel like the management of the club are maybe saying their goodbyes right now.
Yeah, I think they are leaving. I can't be. I really hope they are as well, but I can't see them selling it for like 50% or whatever. They'll sell the whole club because we're in a good position. It's probably the best time to sell it now with like the way.
Maybe they think our golden generation is over. We had our prime. Now we're in the most revenue we can. Now they extract the most money they can and dip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If they can get $4 billion.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even need to invest in any clubs after they're getting 4 billion. It's just they're just set for life.
Yeah, so they're currently in 6th, obviously. So Liam, where are they going to finish come the end of the season?
Okay, so it all depends on what happens in January. I think if the owners won't be, they might be because with the World Cup, they've got the whole time off to sort all the owner tests out, everything. But I hope they're here by January. But if they're not, I still think they'll buy someone because you can't sell a club in a shit position. So I think they're gonna buy people either way.
Okay.
So if we have a good January window, I think 3rd minimum.
What minimum? Okay.
It has to be good. Like, let's say we sign like Moises Caicedo and another midfielder. Like, it's not guaranteed, but if we get 2 people in that we actually want, even like another attacker because everyone's getting injured, we need a midfielder. We need a complete rebuild pretty much. But if you start it in January, I think we'll do well for the rest of the season.
So
if not,
yeah,
we'll struggle with top 4. But we'll see.
And yes, I must ask him what if they don't, and indeed not. Boys left a lot of comments. Let's see what he says here.
Maybe FSG will want to leave on a good note. But what I think they'll do,
they won't.
But what I think they'll do is just say, yeah, our job is done here. We will not spend any money. Fuck off, all of you, and then wait for the new owners. Maybe they will do that.
No, they won't do that.
Baldy says, new training ground, 2 new stands, 2. So I thought I said 2 world.
Oh God!
I thought he said 2 world wars. I was like, what? No, let me reread that.
More training centers and stadiums. We don't care. Where is the midfield?
That is
centers.
They've done a good job.
New training ground, 2 new stands, 2 world record fees, 1 Prem title, 1 Champions League, 1 Club World Cup, 1 Super Cup, 1 FA Cup, 1 League Cup. Didn't take a penny out of the club. Wonderful owners. If it wasn't for COVID, we'd have done much better.
They didn't take a penny out, but they didn't put a penny in. So they've just used our revenue the whole time. They've done well, but they have struck gold. You can't even say they haven't. They're very lucky people.
And I asked this will be the last question for you, Liam. I asked Mo and Oren this, so I'll ask it you as well, because I know you're a big fan of his. Jude Bellingham, what do you predict will be... Where do you think he'll be next season? What are the chances Liverpool sign him? For example, if they fail to get top 4, do you think there's any hope that Liverpool get him?
Yeah,
for example,
I do still think there's hope. But I've always thought, like, obviously, if you don't get top 4, it's going to be a lot harder. But the main issue was the fact that we don't spend money, and we probably don't have enough money to get him and more. So it'll be like him will still be in the same issue because we've got one player that doesn't get injured all the time in midfield.
Guys, I'm wrapping up the Liverpool section now. Stop complaining. Sorry, Liam, carry on.
Jude Bellingham, if the new owners come in, I think it's nailed on. I think we'll definitely get him either way, if we're in the top 4 or not. But if we don't, it'll be a lot harder. We'll probably have to get top 4. We will have to if we've still got FSG this time next year, 100%.
There we go. Thank you for. There's more to talk about. Other clubs. There's more fans to talk about. Like, obviously, we're going to talk about Liverpool the most. There's like 4 fans to get through, and there's a lot going on at Liverpool. Like, obviously, I'm going to talk about that for a long time.
I will say this: if it's solely if it's only Bellingham, then I think I'd rather divide the money into two more unknown midfielders maybe until we can spend big money on proven quality. I think I'd
There we
rather,
go.
I'd maybe rather
Enzo and Caicedo than Bellingham.
yeah, I'd maybe rather maybe 250 million, 240 million midfielders and spending 120 or 130 on Bellingham.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather two quality ones than one world class one. 100%.
There we go. Thank you guys for joining me. What the fuck is that, Musty? And I'll see you guys in the chat.
Bye.
Bye. There we go. Tab says, "You fat bastards." Brilliant. Everyone's changed their name to Big Boy Mo, so I can't tell which ones are the United fans now. That's not helped me. Lucas, I assume you want to talk. I don't know which one you are. Tayab, I assume you want to talk. I don't know which one you are. If you are in the chat, as I say, you're all called Big Boy Mo, and I cannot tell the difference. So could you change your names back to what they were, please? Swedish flag is Mo. I can't see the Swedish flag on my screen. I can't see the I can see a rainbow. Because emojis don't show up on PC, guys. So if you could there we go, Lucas. Okay, great. Hello, Lucas.
Happens.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Excellent stuff. Why has everyone changed their name and profile picture to Mo? That's really confusing me. DR, we had 4 people to talk to, and it's probably the club that's had the most going on at this season, and everyone had a lot to talk about. Of course, we spent loads of time on them. Canty, not a United fan. Tab, are you chatting as well? Lucas.
Tab was the one with the Russian.
Is he in the chat right now?
Russian Israel. No, he left.
Right. Okay. Sorry, it's just really confusing me.
Right. I'll ping him.
It's okay. It's all good. Right, Manchester United are up next, and this will probably be the last one we talk about in detail because I don't think we have any Spurs fans, and Jin isn't here, Owl isn't here, and I don't think we've got any Newcastle fans or indeed Arsenal fans. I didn't cut them off, DR. I didn't at all, mate. I let everyone speak, and if I did,
I know one Arsenal fan. I know one Arsenal fan who's here, but he's never here. Certified Ali.
Yeah, exactly. He's a fraud. Me and you will have a lovely city chat, says Jack. There's only one Mark Robbins. I don't know what that means from Ed. But yeah, Lucas, Manchester United, currently 5th. I said they would finish in 6th. So they're doing slightly better than my predictions. But they are on 0 goal difference. Weird start to the season. But but sort of then picked it up. Then got battered against City. But then seemed to have picked it up more recently. How do you sort of analyze that season so far? How do you think Ten Hag's done so far as well?
Ten Hag's done well. He's done very well. He started off very poorly. We had a good pre-season.
Sorry, it's brought Tayab in as well. Sorry, carry on, Lucas.
We had a good pre-season. The 2 first games in the Prem were horrible to watch. Then we won against Liverpool. One of the best wins, the best win all season, definitely. Then we won against Southampton, Leicester, Arsenal. So we won 4 games in a row. We were on very good form. Then we lost to a dodgy penalty against Sociedad.
Yes, that was very dodgy, to be fair.
Yeah, very dodgy pen. And I can't remember who we played after that. I think it might have been Everton. No? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah, we won against Everton. We lost against Villa last week, and we won today against Fulham. And we lost against City, of course. But you're allowed to lose against City, in my opinion, because they are too good.
So you think Ten Hag's done a good job, basically, from the sounds of it. What were your sorts of predictions or hopes going into this season in terms of league position?
I thought we were going to finish 4th. And I still think we will do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll pass Tottenham, and Tottenham will go into the Europa League. I think Newcastle might have a chance for top 4 this year.
Yeah, that you currently have a game in hand, to be fair, over Spurs, and you're only 3 points behind. So if you won your game in hand, you would be on the same number of points as Spurs. So yeah, that could definitely be a thing.
If that would have been Leeds, and if we won 11-0 against them, we would have been 4th place right now.
Yeah, playing on the goal difference, but you could certainly get there in terms of points. Will Newcastle be there at the end of the season? Maybe, but they are currently the most informed team in the league. They've won their last 5 in a row. No one else has done that, not even Arsenal, who are top of the table. So
we're the only team who have beaten Newcastle.
Is that right?
Yeah, they've only lost 1 game. Who is the only team?
Who is? It was Liverpool, wasn't it? It was that 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In like the 96th minute or something like that. Yeah, that was a wild one. Talk to me. Oh, we got Tayab here as well. Hello, Tayab.
Hi, Nobbins.
How you doing?
Great.
Excellent stuff. Talk to me about, because I know you're a big fan of his. I want you to talk to me about, first of all, Garnacho, I think he's called.
What man?
I know you've been a big fan of him for ages. And conversely, I also want you to talk about sort of like as a youngster is ascending, that there's a more senior player in the squad who's declining in respect of in his performances and his attitude. One, Cristiano Ronaldo. So Tab, talk to me about. Let's start positive. Start with Garnacho and then Ronaldo. Just your thoughts on them this season.
I felt like ever since I watched the Youth Cup between United and Forest, I was in love. It was so good, that game. So good. And then he scored. I think he scored twice. Scored a pen.
Is he a winger?
Yeah.
He can play on both flanks, I think.
Okay. Tab, carry on.
And then he scored twice. He scored a pen, and then he dribbled past a couple of players and slotted it in. It was great. And then this season, don't think I saw him in pre-season, so I thought he was going to get loaned out or maybe like not even playing. And then he was in the under-21s for a bit. Scored against Liverpool in the, I think, under-23s.
Okay.
It's a good goal. And then got his game against Sheriff. It was amazing against them. Oh, it was magnificent, that game.
Yeah.
And then
Man of the match.
ever since, he's just been magnificent.
It's been magnificent. Do you want to see him start even more games this season? Or is it too soon?
I think Europa League. I think if we make it through Barca, then I reckon he should get a couple Europa League games. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, stuff like that. Cups like that. I don't think he's ready for the Prem yet, to play week in, week out. You've got Sancho, Anthony, Rashford are all ahead of him. Not second order.
Phil Jones says he's a bigger Garnacho fan than you, Tayab, so you've got some competition.
Who?
That's probably Jane, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't mind.
And a Garnacho goal versus Liverpool was last season, apparently. I think that's what Tayab said, yeah.
That's just cap.
It's not.
Yeah, it might be.
Who's the number 25 for United?
Sancho.
Oh, it's Sancho, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Tayab, I want you to talk about. So that's obviously the ascendancy of Garnacho, potential first teamer. But conversely, Cristiano Ronaldo, and we can also talk about Sancho. I think I'll get Lucas to talk about Sancho. Cool. Tayab, and actually no, let's talk about Sancho for you, Tayab, because you like Sancho, and I know you were defending him the other day. But it is fair to say, he's not had. He didn't have the best season last season in his first season. He struggled again this season. He did score against Liverpool, but apart from that, it's not really done much. It's just not really working out for him so far. What do you make of it? Because I know you're a fan of his.
He's had a tough season and a half, and it's quite sad because when United first signed him, I thought he'd be our winger for the next 10-ish years, and it's just been sad to see his form decline.
And Lucas,
he seems like a shadow of his former self.
A shadow of his former self, yeah. And Lucas, first of all, do you agree on the Sancho thing? And secondly, why do you think that's happening? Do you think it's time for him to just be like dropped on a more permanent basis to teach him a lesson if it's an attitude problem? What do you think?
Definitely not an attitude problem. I think he's just on a bad run of form at the moment, and I think he will come back in the coming years.
Fair enough, fair dues. But speaking of attitude and bad attitudes, surely it can't be argued that Cristiano Ronaldo's attitude has been very poor this season. Borderline disrespectful, I think it's fair to say. Lucas, is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
And can you even begin to excuse it or explain it, or is it just like, is this just the decline of Ronaldo and he's no longer able to contribute in respect of what Ten Hag wants from his players?
I think his attitude problem is just because he's not playing, I think, and Ten Hag is using him as a sub, and that's not where he wants to play. That is the reason why he wants to leave. And he also wants to play Champions League football and all that. So I think that's the main reason for his attitude. And he also refused to come on versus Tottenham as well.
Mo says... Oh, sorry, Lucas, carry on.
No, that was it.
Mo says, Garnacho and Sancho are different players, but he's not been great. Seems very similar to when Saka rose to the world and Pepe got the boot. And also, Musty says that the Deji fight is starting.
I'm going to miss that fight.
That's for Lucas. And Ed asks, ask Teab and Lucas their thoughts. One realistic signing they could make in January. Let's start with you, Lucas.
Ivan Toney.
Oh, okay, interesting. So, is Martial not cutting the mustard anymore?
I love Martial, but I think he's too inconsistent for me. Okay. He played well today, though. So,
no, that's an interesting shout. And you strike it in. And Teab, one sort of realistic signing for United.
I mean, I don't think we'll sign anyone in January because we spent like 220 mil in the summer. So I realistically think we'll sign no one in Jan and then we'll spend big in the summer.
Spend big in the summer. What do you make of that Tony shout from Lucas? Do you like that signing to replace Martial?
I quite like it, but Brentford will probably demand like a higher fee. So that could be like alternatives.
Mm-hmm. That's fair enough. Phil Jones says, is this James, by the way? Phil Jones is the sexiest man alive. Let me know if that is actually James.
I guarantee it's...
Nobbins, I think...
yeah, Gakpo. I forgot about Gakpo.
Yeah, I think it's unfair enough on Sancho until we have a prolific goal scorer who Sancho can provide many setups with. And Gakpo in January. He says... There you go, Teab. Agrees, and how have you guys sort of... How do you guys react to the sort of business that you did do in the summer, bringing in... It was Anthony, Casemiro, Martinez were the main big boy signings. Are you guys happy with how they've performed so far?
I'm very happy with it. The only reason we signed Anthony and Casemiro was it was after the Brentford game, 4-0 loss, and everyone was like, glaze it out. So they used it as a panic buy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, and I think we all know that. But they've been very well. Anthony has been a bit dodgy. He started off very well, and then he got an injury and he hasn't played the last like 5 games or what is. Casemiro has been very, very good. Very, very good.
And Teab, are you happy with the signings that you've already made?
Casemiro has been probably the second best, with Martinez being the best. I think they've been good so far, but I reckon...
On a free was an absolute steal as well.
For sure. And then, so the last thing I want to ask you guys is to say I put United in 6th. They're currently 5th. Where do you guys think they finish at the end of the season, Teab?
So I reckon City will be first, Arsenal second,
Okay.
Paul third, Liverpool third, and then United will finish 4th or 5th.
4th or 5th. I'm going to push you for an exact prediction.
5th, I reckon.
5th?
But we'll win the Europa League.
Interesting. And Lucas, the same question to you.
I'm a bit more optimistic. I'm going to say 4th, but I'll also say that we will win the Europa League. Should we also grade the season?
Please, yes.
B plus.
C plus. And how about you, Tayab?
No, B
Oh.
plus, not C.
B plus. Okay. And how about you, Tayab?
Well, I wasn't really happy with Ten Hag today because when he brought on McTominay for Elanga, we lost control of the game. Well, I thought, would have probably been smarter to bring on Garnacho for Elanga, then it probably wouldn't have conceded.
Fair enough.
Managed that well. So I reckon a high C, so or a low B. So I reckon like a B minus or something.
No, fair play. I like that. What's that? McTominay's a dusty inbred. This is James, brilliant.
Fair enough.
Fourth, Chelsea, Spurs. We'll finish in fifth, says James as well. Guys, thank you for joining me and having your thoughts on United. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Enjoy watching the fight or whatever it is you're up to. And I'll see you in the chat.
See you.
Bye. There we go. That was Lucas and Tayab, Manchester United fans. Spurs are up next. As I said, don't think we've got any Spurs fans to talk to, so I'll just sort of like give my thoughts on Spurs. I still can't really put my finger on them. They're shit, but also they get results. It's a really weird one. Surely they can't keep playing like that. Is it two outrageous comebacks they've done now? Where they're like 1 or 2 goals down and then come back to win it late on. You can't keep doing that across a whole season. You will eventually, get caught out. So I am leaning more on the side of I don't even know if Spurs are going to get top 4. To be honest, I thought I'm so upset with Spurs because I thought they were going to have an actual title race. I thought they were going to finish third and actually push City and Liverpool, now City and Arsenal. I mean, they've been dross to watch, really bad in terms of like the entertainment. Spurs only win 1-0 or 4-3, says Mo. And yeah, just a really weird situation there. But that being said, they topped their Champions League group and they are still in the Champions League spots. So I guess in terms of results, you can't be too upset if you're a Spurs fan. However, performances, not sure that you can maintain those performances and getting positive results long term. Speaking of positive results, Newcastle are absolutely smashing it. They've lost less games this season. They've lost less games this season than City. Do they have the joint best defensive record in the league? Is that right? Yeah, it is. It's absolutely outrageous from Newcastle. I mentioned before they are the most informed team in the league. They are looking much. I tell you what, that point we'll talk about City in a minute. That point City got against Newcastle at St James's Park. That's looking like a very good point considering that they were 3-1 down City and it came back to 3-0. Newcastle doing absolute bits. They only just missed out on getting a point at Anfield. They beat Chelsea recently at 1-0 at home. They won at Spurs away. Some really impressive results. And they are actually it's actually very impressive how good they've been. I think there's been a big mentality shift at that club. Aaron Grealish is emotion up. Callum Wilson's been classy. I think the main thing for me is because there's not been. I know a number of players have come in, but it's not been a huge turnaround. As I say, I do think it's more of a mentality element. Oh, yeah, less of that, Ed. To be honest, like lots of these players have been at the club for a number of years. You think like Joelinton, Almiron, Longstaff, Willock, etc. And they've actually been without St Maximin for a large chunk of the season as well. So the fact that they are currently in the Champions League spots is highly impressive. Could we talk about Bruno Guimaraes? I'm so impressed with him. Yeah, well he was when was he brought in? Was it partway through last season? And it's surprising how many goals. He's got 5 goal contributions this season. It's surprising given his starting position on the pitch. No trust the process shit. No inflated money, just proper football by Eddie Howe, says Mo. And Eddie Howe is the GOAT, says Callum. Newcastle also good. Oh, sorry, Mo says something about Spurs. They field 9 defensive players and Kane expect a challenge for the league. Yeah. Yes, I've been incredibly impressed with Newcastle. I thought they were going to get 7th, and genuinely I thought I was overly predicting. I thought I was being overly optimistic about that position. I thought maybe a more realistic one would have been around mid-table, but I thought this is going to be the season where they will push. But I'd tell you what, in terms of that, I'm sure they've got like, you know, like a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. It's looking like it's early days, but it is looking like they actually might. They're definitely going to get Europe. I'm convinced of that. Whether it's Champions League, that's another matter. But as it stands, they are. There is a game in hand, but they are 4 points ahead of United. If they can keep up that run of form after the World Cup, that will be the test. I just wonder once a number, if like their players Newcastle title win soon, says Mo. I still think we're looking at like maybe 8 years to properly challenge for the title. I think this will be a slow building, slow burner sort of thing. My only concern for Newcastle would be if someone like Bruno Guimaraes gets injured, Almiron in his current form, if he gets injured, Trippier, for example, don't necessarily know if they've got the depth that the teams around them necessarily have. That would be my only concern from a Newcastle perspective. But I'd like them to get top 4 because I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, Newcastle having an outrageous season. It'd be great if it's a shame. It'd be great if we had a Newcastle fan to talk about, but we obviously don't. And it's a shame because we also don't have an Arsenal fan to talk about. So we'll end on City because I can obviously talk about City. But yeah, we don't have an Arsenal fan to talk about, sadly. But Arsenal have been the best team in the Premier League so far this season. Joint best defensive record, was at the second best offensive record as well, second best goal difference, and obviously the most points, 5 points ahead of Manchester City. A Manchester City team which was apparently ruining the league and making it a one-team league at Christmas. It's Arsenal just before the World Cup. It's Arsenal who are 5 points ahead, and there've been some very impressive wins in there as well, beating Liverpool relatively comfortably. Beating Chelsea incredibly comfortably. It would have been it's such a shame that the City Arsenal game got rescheduled because of the Royal stuff. I would have loved to have seen Arsenal versus City by now. That would have been so interesting to see that matchup, because I think that would have been at the Emirates as well. And City were incredibly lucky to win at the Emirates last season, and that was last season when Arsenal finished 5th. I've heavily underrated Arsenal this season. Mo, if you want, sure. As long as it's quick, yeah. Just because we're approaching like the end. I wanted this to be around a 2-hour stream. Hello, Maloney, mate. Yeah. So obviously, Arsenal best team in the league so far this season. I still don't think they win the league. Even though City lost against who is it? Harry Sir is an Arsenal fan. Oh, is he? Harry, hello, mate. Are you an Arsenal fan?
Yes, sir.
Hey, mate, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Talk to me about Arsenal, mate. I'm so sorry. I didn't realise you were an Arsenal fan.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Talk to me, mate. So, from my perspective, I'm a City fan, obviously. Arsenal, best team in the league so far this season. Huge improvement so far in last season. Only lost once, and to be fair, they played better against United in the game they did lose. They've been brilliant. You must be absolutely buzzing.
Honestly, I don't know. I just try not to get too excited because, season ain't done yet.
No, of course, but this time, last season, would you have ever conceived you'd be in a title race going into Christmas?
No.
Exactly.
The goal is top 4, but the fact that we have even a chance for the title, I hope they just grab it.
Yeah,
and just run with it right through.
Yeah, well, it's to be honest, it's a brilliant start by Arsenal. They've got more points than City had last season. So I think this time last season City actually had the same number of points they had this season. So just goes to show how brilliant Arsenal start has been. Jack, we'll end on City. Don't you worry. I just didn't realise we had an Arsenal fan to talk about. Don't you worry about it. Hello, Kazoo. Yeah. So as I say, I predicted them to finish 5th. I mean. They're definitely going to get at least second.
I don't blame you for predicting that, because nobody knew how good those signings would have been, to how much they would improve.
Yeah.
And people were very reactionary with Arteta last season, saying that he should have gotten sacked because we bottled top 4. But you could just see how much, we were just on the way up, and he just needed Jesus, Zinchenko, things like that, just to fit into place to get us on a different level.
Yeah, well, 100%. I think I mentioned it in my predictions video. I think that business was genuinely excellent, bringing in City players are on the sort of fringe of the first team, but they can do a really good job for Arsenal. Not only in terms of the quality, but also like the winners' mentality. Like Zinchenko and Jesus are winners, and I think that's priceless in a dressing room. Don't worry, Jack. We'll get to you in a moment. Can I just ask, Harry, whereabouts in the world are you from? Because I love your accents.
Oh, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, that's sick. So that's in the Caribbean, yes?
Yeah, we're
Excellent.
very close to South America, though. But
Oh,
yeah.
that is sick.
I really appreciate it.
What's that? Sorry.
I appreciate that you say you love my accent.
No, it's fun. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes. So obviously, brilliant season so far for you. I know you said you didn't want to get carried away. Where do you think Arsenal finish at the? I mean, it's an A+ in terms of the season so far. Where do you think Arsenal will be at the end of the season after the World Cup? Are they going to be able to cope if they get like an injury, for example, as we go deeper into the cup competitions, etc.? How do you see the season playing out?
My brain says second, but my heart says first.
I like that. You've got to believe. You've got to have hope. Why not? There's no reason why. Like, you're 5 points. We're just over a third of the way through the season. You're 5 points ahead, and City have not been playing great this season. In fairness, so if ever you're going to do it, why?
City have definitely been very gettable this season, which is weird.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So it's in Arsenal's hands. And look, if Arsenal beat City in a head-to-head, then that's going to extend the gap even further.
Could only dream.
Yeah.
Could only dream.
But last season at the Emirates, City were lucky to get a win, to be honest, and that was last season. So never mind this season. What could happen?
Yeah, there's always a doubt in my mind with Arsenal, just because I'm so used to the past of just mediocrity.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair enough. Well, you're at least going to be in the Champions League again, and it's been a number of years since you're in the Champions League, so that's got to be a good feeling either way.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, there's no reason why Arsenal can't have a genuine title challenge and a title race this season.
In previous seasons, people were complaining that we weren't in the Champions League, and I was just like, I don't want to see these teams play in Champions League because we're just gonna get embarrassed in that league, in the Champions League. Because when we had like Walcott and stuff like that, I'm just like,
oh yeah,
these people are not good enough. And now we have a young squad, average age of 23.7, youngest squad in Premier League. And the fact that we're even challenging for the title, people have to put respect on Arteta's name. I think it's ridiculous that they doubted him so much. This is his third year as a manager, and he has to manage Arsenal. I think that's insane.
I agree. I was a big Arteta advocate. I know a lot of people said Arteta out. It's like that's ridiculous. Trust the process. Give him time. As we can see, it's clearly worked out for him.
Yeah, that's what Chelsea has to do with Potter as well. I think Potter's a good manager.
I agree. Yeah.
Hopefully they see it. I just want to see good football from a lot of teams. First, I'm a football fan more than anything.
100%. Well, Harry, it's been lovely chatting to you, especially about Arsenal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And good luck in the title race.
You too. Hopefully, hold on.
See you, matey. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
There we go. That was Harry, the Arsenal fan. And I will now bring in Jack, who is a man. We'll end on City now. Hello, Jack, who is also a City fan.
Yes, I am, mate.
How are you doing since last we spoke?
I'm great.
You're doing great. Excellent stuff. Yes, as I say, guys, the last team to talk about. The reason why I did this is because I didn't think we had an Arsenal fan to talk to, but we did. UTB. What does that? Oh, sorry, Maloney. What does that mean? Thoughts on Coventry, says Ed. Don't know. Never been. I don't have any thoughts on Coventry. Yes, City. I just said hello to Jack. You must, you fraud. City, Jack. How do you sort of feel like the season's gone?
So
far.
I mean, other than the Liverpool game, the Brentford game, it's been very good. You know, can't really fault anyone too much. I think the signings other than Gomez, have all been very, very good.
Yeah.
But Gomez wasn't brought to start every week, so I can let him off for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been kind of unlucky with injuries. Walker, who else has been injured?
Phillips has been out for basically the whole season so far.
Yeah, Stones got injured for a bit as well, but that wasn't too worrying.
Mm-hmm. And Laporte missed the start of the season too.
Oh yeah, I bloody love Laporte. He's so good.
Oh yeah, I think he's our best defender by a fair margin. Ortega with the Stars as Musti, he was really good against Chelsea. It's been good business by City. Diaz says Phillips very, very good. As a concept, it's just he's been injured, so he hasn't been able to properly play. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, Jack, but is selling Jesus and Zinchenko therefore strengthening Arsenal? Was that a bit of a do-do move by City? Because it's, Arsenal currently 5 points ahead of us.
I mean, if they win the league, yes. But at the same time, I see why we sold them to Arsenal, because they both obviously wanted to go there because they're familiar with Arteta and they play a somewhat similar style to us, but a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
So, and also more minutes.
More minutes, yeah, absolutely. Important question. Must have said no, it's not. We just wanted some competition. Yeah, fair play. Important question, Jack. Are City winning the league this season, or is it going to be Arsenal's year?
We will win the league. Arsenal will struggle, especially because they don't have the depth we have.
Do you foresee stuff like when we get deeper, when they get deeper in the Europa League and maybe the FA Cup as well?
Yeah, around like March, April time.
That's the business end of the season. I guess now the head-to-head matches against Arsenal are going to be crucial. So City cannot afford to lose those games. I'm going to ask you about Haaland. He's a beautiful man, isn't he? 18 goals in the Premier League so far. I think it's 23 in all competitions. How do you sort of assess how he's been at City, how he's changed City's style of play, and how many goals will he score come the end of the season?
You can't really say a bad word about him at the moment, can you? He's doing everything we bought him to do, which is put the ball in the net, win us games.
Musty says we don't care about Haaland, we want Alvarez. Sorry, I'll talk about Alvarez now because I know Jack's a huge fan. Talk to me about your star boy.
Listen here, this kid, I absolutely adore him. I don't know why I don't have pictures of him all over my wall, because he is special. The Alvarez press cannot be beaten. Like, he will get that ball, even if he has to fucking step on an ankle to get there. Nothing will stop him. And his finishing, top notch.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
His goal against, who was it?
It was Fulham.
Yeah, I thought so. That finish, I'd say I almost came, but there was a bit in my boxes.
Musty says the Aguero void in my heart has been filled again. Yeah, he's impressed every time he's impressed every time I've seen him. In fairness, whether it's as a striker, whether it's on the left, whether it's on the right, whether it's in midfield. At times, he seems to do it all. He's always running around. I think he would have got an assist against Brentford and won City the game if Haaland didn't slip. Just
infuming at that lanky Norwegian prick.
Just at the last moment. It was such a shame because all the balls coming into Haaland that day, they were just over him, just ahead of him, just behind him. Alvarez comes on, great ball. Haaland in that instance it does slip, so it is a huge shame. In that regard, but yeah, I've been really impressed with Alvarez. I thought he was going to be a bit part player. He's actually been really good for City.
The only thing that worries me now that after the World Cup, Haaland will be fit because he's not playing, so there's no risk of injury. Is that his game time will be a bit more limited?
Yeah,
especially in Pep.
Drill says Ronaldo. Oh my God, what's this, Drill? Has something happened in the world of Ronaldo? Let me know. Hello, Flower Girl. How are you doing? I don't know what that's in reference to, Drill. Do let me know though. Who's been your who do you think's been City's best player so far this season, Jack? Who's been your star performer?
All right, I thought you would ask me this, and I'm not going to be boring and go with Haaland. I'm actually going to go with Akanji.
Okay, interesting.
Just because how good he has been, other than the Brentford game. That's the only game where he hasn't been good.
Oh, sorry. This is apparently breaking news. Ronaldo to Piers Morgan, has said, Manchester United have betrayed me. I have been made a black sheep. I don't respect Erik ten Hag. Wow. Well, if that's true, that's kind of outrageous. This man is insane, man. I think he believes his hype too much. I think he thinks he's 28, not 38 years old. United play better with him than without him. How odd. And Ed said the headline is...
I was reminiscing about the Madrid days.
What's that? Sorry, Jack?
He's reminiscing about the Madrid days.
Ed says, and that's a tweet from Fabrizio Romano. Deary me. The headline is Erik ten Hag has warned Ronaldo and his United teammates he will not accept the World Cup as an excuse for a slip-up against Fulham. Pele's been the best. He scored 50 goals. This proof on Instagram, says TTD. But yeah, so absolutely mad scenes from Ronaldo. They're not a surprise, to be honest. I mean... It's not really a surprise. This man's ego is far too big for his own good. He's not the player he once was. He just needs to calm down and accept that he's not that guy anymore. He's not that guy. But yeah, so you said Akanji's been the best player. He has been good, but he was poor against Brentford, wasn't he? I mean, Tony had him on toast.
I mean, yeah, but who wasn't bad against Brentford?
No, yeah, absolutely. It was just I was surprised Akanji started. I felt like that game was crying out for. I thought that game was crying out for a Ruben Diaz type player.
Yeah, I don't know why he dropped Diaz.
No, because he was on the bench. He was fine, wasn't he? Really weird. I also thought Alvarez probably should have started because Haaland obviously isn't fit. He's obviously still carrying a slight bit of an injury because he wasn't making the runs we're used to him seeing. But there we go. That is Manchester City. And Jack, thank you for joining me and thank you for talking about two clubs for me, mate.
No worries, mate.
See you, man. Bye.
Love you.
I love you too. There we go. That was Jack. And guys, that was the Premier League half-ish season review. United don't need this absolute sulky whinge back in the top four battle, says Kazoo. Yeah, the Ronaldo thing is absolutely wild, to be honest. Guys, throwback. Do you guys remember when I said Cristiano Ronaldo was a bad signing for Man United? And I'd like loads of Ronaldo fanboys cry at me. But LNobbins, his shirt sales have already paid for his transfer fee. No, they didn't. Shut up. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so that's hilarious. Games lost this season. Grealish didn't play a single minute. Yeah, I know, mad. Deji lost to Mayweather. What a dub. Opinions on Garnacho. I haven't seen nearly enough of him. I know he scored a goal today, but I've not seen a full match of him, so I can't really comment on him. He sounds like an exciting winger, but I can't really say much more than that, to be honest, TTV. Of course, Deji's going to lose to Mayweather. Mayweather's a boxer, isn't he? And Deji is a YouTube man. So, you're just jealous because you didn't get your kazoo yet. The only reason Ronaldo rejoined was stopping good. Exactly, Ed. Exactly. And I did touch on that in my Ronaldo video. And if your transfer decisions are based on what other clubs are doing, and if basically the only reason you sign him is so another club doesn't get him, then by definition it's not a good signing. Let's be honest here, because it's not even like it. Maybe it could be. Let's say it was United and City in a title race. Maybe then it would make sense to do that just to weaken your rival. But United are nowhere near City, so it just made no sense at all. They're operating in different realms right now. John Fury tried scrapping Jake Paul, says Jack. Excellent stuff. Yeah, I don't really get this whole YouTube boxing scene. It's not for me, to be honest. If it's for charity, then fair play, go for it. But I don't really understand YouTubers pretending like they're boxers. TTV says he was good last season. His age is getting on. He scored a lot of goals last season. TTV. I know he scored a lot of goals. I just don't know whether that detrimented the team as a whole, though. That might be the only question mark there. Mayweather and charity. Yeah. What's the stream tomorrow? Asks DR. I don't actually know what the schedule's going to be. To be honest, DR mate. Because when's the World Cup? When's the World Cup starts? Is the World Cup on Sunday? Is that when it starts? We're going to be doing a lot of World Cup streams. By the way, let me know, guys. Would for example, there are some days. I mean, in fact, most days where there's like 4 games on in a day. So, would it be absolutely wild if I did, like, 4 watch-alongs in a day? And just do one big stream because, are we talking more than one day? Sorry, Jack, I don't know what that means. It's because... Oh, sorry, watch-alongs, yeah. It's because Ollie and Carrick probably played to team target Ronaldo. Yeah, if you're gonna play Ronaldo, you got to play to his strengths. World Cup starts on birthday. Class made it better already. Do a World Cup preview. Have 10 of your viewers select a country to talk about. Says DR. I might do that as a YouTube video. I haven't quite figured it out. I just don't know how much time I'm going to have. Just because I need to edit my Qatar video. I just finished writing and recording that today. That's going to be like a 25, maybe 30-minute video. So I do need a lot of time to work on that. But yeah, I feel like the World Cup's going to be a hectic time in terms of streaming, so I'm not sure how many streams I'm going to commit to in the lead up to the World Cup. We will have our Friday evening stream, which will be the quiz. But I'm not sure how many streams we will have before then, just because of how many streams I want to do for the World Cup. You love the Middle East as musty. Do one long stream every day. Maybe if there's like 2 exciting matches there back to back. I'm just having a look at the ones now. So the Qatar one is a standalone. The first match is a standalone one. Obviously, I'm going to do the England game on the Monday. I don't really have any interest in the other games like Senegal, Netherlands. Don't really know if I have an interest in that one. If there are 2 interesting ones back to back, I might be interested in doing that. I'm going to try to watch as many as possible. But I'll have to double check on all the schedules and whatnot. Watching Qatar batter Ecuador. Come on, Ecuador. Come on, the lads. Get Valencia back in, honestly. Get Valencia back in. So, for example, France, Denmark into Argentina, Mexico. That might be a good back-to-back one as an example. So I don't know how many of those will do. Obviously, it depends on your guys' interest in the streams. I don't want to, do more streams just for the sake of doing it. If you guys are enjoying it, then I will do it. But I will be guided by what you guys want to say. Germany, Spain, Belgium all play on Wednesday. I don't know, Musty. Sometimes that happens. I don't know why. It shouldn't have done. I'm going to move it back. There we go. I've just moved it back. Sometimes it does that. I don't. As I said, I don't really know why. Where do you think the World Cup should have been this year? Anywhere else, basically. The other options. Ronaldo's what people thought Pogba was as KX. The other options and you'll find out. I don't know, KX mate. He's a whore. Yes, Fader Stalks. I have seen it. We've just been talking about it. It's absolutely shameless from Ronaldo. Who does he actually think he is? Who does he actually think he is? Yeah, any of the... I'll discuss this in my Qatar video, but Australia was an option. The US was an option. South Korea was an option. Japan was an option. Any one of those would have been better. Any one of those. Man City doesn't respect Ten Hag when it's not even January. Yeah, I know it's bad. Probably after Christmas, Ed, after the World Cup. Wayne Rooney, I don't know why he criticises me so much. Probably because he retired while I'm still at the top level. Oh my god. Little Ronnie is a melt, yeah. I'll watch Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Saud. Yeah, if you guys can spot any good back-to-back fixtures, do let me know. I'm just having, as I said, the only obvious one I saw was the Argentina-Mexico one. just have one more look here. I'd like, if I can, I'd like us to do like at least one a day, just so we can, you know, why not? You know, I'd say what we'll do. I'll probably like in the Discord server, I'll get you guys to vote. So, for example, would you rather watch South Korea, Portugal, or Ghana, Uruguay? We can have a vote on that because some of them do take place at the same time. Portugal, Ghana, Brazil, Serbia. Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. Yeah, Jack. Interesting shout. Yeah, I'm sure I'll look into it properly. I'll have a proper look at the fixtures because I do want to stream as much as you guys will tolerate. Because I love, I obviously love the World Cup. And this will be our first World Cup that we're streaming as well, obviously. And we'll also have to think about when are we going to do the drinking streams? When are we going to do the drinking game streams? Should we just save it for the World Cup final? Or should we do like, you know, if there's like a really big, if England are in a quarter-final or a semi-final, maybe I should do a drinking game for that as well. That sort of thing. But it's going to be exciting, is the World Cup. It's going to be good. I just don't know exactly what the schedule is going to be next week. Certainly a quiz, and certainly the first World Cup game on Sunday. There genuinely might only be 2 streams next week because I really want to work hard on this YouTube video, and because we'll be doing like basically a stream a day. Get Mrs. Nobbins on vacation for a month for the World Cup. Oh yes, and Gaski's in the chat, and we will have Gaski on for at least one of the games. At least one of them. I think we were looking at... Gaski's coming. Gaski's coming to my house in person. Don't worry about it. Which one did we say, Gaski, mate? Did we say the USA one? Every time Maguire makes a mistake, take a shot. Oh, God, yeah. We'd be dead. We'd be dead. When is that? Oh, God, I can't even find it now. Where art thou, England versus USA? There you go. That's a Friday evening at 7. So that could be a thing that Gaski and I do. Get Gaski on the first game of the World Cup. We could do. If that fits Gaski's schedule. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. Don't you bloody worry. We'll get it sorted out here. Gaski, do you want to come on the first one? Do you want to come on Qatar, Ecuador? Because I don't know what your plans are. It's coming home, says TTV. Hello, Ollie, mate. England will get quarterfinals, and that's it, says Ed. It's not coming home, says Jack. What an L. What an L that is for you. Football's coming home, says TTV. For example, I won't be able to get Gaski on for England versus Iran because Gaski will be at work. So it's not really possible. But if it's an evening match or a weekend match, then it's much more likely to get Gaski on. No worries at all, Ollie. We are about to wrap up, yeah. But yes, that is a thing. That's a thing. I'm a realist, says Jack. Look, I'm gonna have optimism. You'll hop on any game. Excellent stuff. I think let's stick with the England USA one, Gaski. We'll have a talk about it, but that is a Friday evening one, so that should be fine for us to do. But yeah, I'm just having a look at the fixtures. Yeah, so we'll do Qatar, Ecuador. Obviously, we'll do England versus Iran on Monday. Tuesday, we can do... Oh, that's interesting. Which one should we do for Tuesday, guys? We've got the Argentina-Saudi Arabia game. We've got Denmark-Tunisia. We've got Mexico-Poland or France-Australia. That could... I mean, Argentina-Saudi Arabia, just to see Messi, would be interesting. I'm sort of erring towards France-Australia for that one. I think. Just because I fully expect Argentina to win that one comfortably. Mexico-Poland, says Callum. Saudi Arabia, says Saud. Alvarez ball, says Musty. I think Australia might... You never know. They might be able to do something there. Jack wants Alvarez ball. But yeah, I'll do polls. I'm going to do polls on... Thank you, DR. I think I'll do polls on the YouTube community tab. So keep your eye on that. That's how I'll do it. Mexico, Poland would be good, or France versus Australia. You say what we've got on the next day. We've got Belgium. We've got Morocco, Croatia, Germany, Japan, Spain, Costa Rica, Belgium, Canada. I think Belgium, Canada might be exciting. I also think Germany, Japan could be interesting. The good thing is, because this is obviously my job, it doesn't matter what time of the day we do, so we don't just have to go for the evening ones. I can do whichever time we want to do. So we can literally pick and choose the games we we want. I'm thinking maybe Belgium, Canada for that one. The next one, we've got Germany to have a good World Cup. Yeah, Portugal, Ghana, and Brazil, Serbia. We'll do a back-to-back there. Uruguay, South Korea, that could also be interesting, but we'll do a back-to-back of the Portugal and Brazil games. El made 40 also our first forwards. The next day, obviously, England versus USA. We'll be doing that one with Gasky. The next day, France-Denmark. We've got to watch that, haven't we? France versus Denmark. That's a huge game. That's probably the game of that group. The day after, Spain-Germany. Again, that's a no-brainer. We've got to do Spain versus Germany. Definitely. What's next? Portugal-Uruguay. Yeah, that's that day sorted. England versus Wales. Yes. Oh, I was going to say we can do both of them on at the same time. Never mind. Yeah, we'll do Wales versus England. Maybe we'll get Gasky on for that one as well. The day after that, what have we got? Tunisia, France, Poland, Argentina, actually. Yeah, Jack, you read my mind. Poland, Argentina is a really interesting game. Croatia, Belgium. Yes, that sounds fun. We'll do that one. That's going to be a tasty game. That's going to be tasty indeed. South Korea, Portugal, I think, could be an exciting game. It'll also be interesting to see what happens as the groups go on. We'll know which are the more high-value games. High-value games. The games which mean more in the group. So it's like, it's a must-win, or they're not going to qualify, that sort of thing. The more Alvarez ball, the better. Do you guys think he's going to start for Argentina, though? That's my question to you. Does he start for Argentina? I don't know. But yeah, it's so exciting. As much as I reveal in my World Cup video, which I'm hoping to get done Thursday. I'm hoping to get it premiered on Friday. Yeah, good to speak to you too, Ed, mate. I have a good sleep. I'm hoping to get the video in a final state on Friday. That'll be premiered, so I will be in the live chat on YouTube. I'll deal with all the politics in that, and then when it comes to the World Cup, I'm going to try to not talk about it as much as possible and just enjoy the competition for what it is. So I'll get all my politics out then, and yeah, that'll be a good thing. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. That's just a preview of what we're going to do next week and the week after. As I say, probably not going to do that many streams next week, maybe only 2, ultimately, because I do want to spend a lot of time working on the video, and because we're going to be doing a stream a day, it sounds like, for however long the World Cup is going on, as there are games a day, even multiple games a day. But hey, it's the World Cup. It's a watch-along fest. It's a beautiful thing. Remember, guys, keep an eye out on the YouTube community tab. That's where the votes will be. Until... Might not be until Friday, the next stream. But until then, guys, have a lovely rest of your evening. I'll commit that. I'll confirm that in the Discord server next week. Goodbye, Cheeky. And yeah, I will see you, and I'll speak to you in the interim, and I'll see you later. Bye.